Hello, what's up tonight, everyone? Welcome. Fine Thursday to ya all. Good to see ya. Uh-oh, where's our chat? Oh, there it is. Good to see ya. What is up, Old Man X? Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. How's it going tonight? Venice Society, Jonathan Snow. Welcome. Hope all is well with you. Monakita. And also Zelda Zagbot, Stone Rain Productions, Samurai. Abash likes you. Abash is here. Oh my god, this deck. This deck is... Okay, so the story of this deck, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Phyrexia, then we'll do reminders, then we're going to play this deck. Okay, so yesterday I sat down, I was like, all right, I got to record some videos for the YouTube. So I sat down, I was playing some Modern. Moto was not lagging as it is right now. You never know with Moto. It gets a little laggy sometimes. So I sat down, I said, I'm going to play some Modern. Let's play some Modern. I'll record for the YouTube channel. So I started playing this game, and my opponent... They started playing all these weird lands. There was like Field of Ruin and Detection Tower and Grove of the Burn Willows. And I was like, I don't know what's going on over there. Count Joko, how are you? Good to see you. Drice, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. So I was like, I don't have any idea what's going on. They cast a Bump in the Night, a Gonti's Mechanician, these like really weird bad burn spells. I was like, okay, I sure it's like some sort of weird Rakdos burn deck. And then the opponent... They use their Grove of the Burn Willows to make me gain a life, and then they cast Needlebite Trap for 1 mana. Target player loses 5 life, you gain 5 life, and then with Needlebite Trap on the stack, they lutri from their hand to copy the Needlebite Trap and drain for that. It was like the most absurd thing, and there's also like Vito's involved. Vito comes down in game number 2, and then they like Soul Spike with a Vito out, and it was just like the most ridiculous thing that I've ever seen. It was like I'm rarely at a loss. I'm never at a loss for words when it comes to Magic. Like I could talk about Magic all day, and I couldn't do anything but laugh. All I could do is laugh. I was like, I have no idea what's going on, and I was playing it against the odds deck. I'm the one that plays the decks that people are probably saying I have no idea what's going on, and it just absolutely floored me. So I talked to the person after the game, and I was like, can I get that deck list? And they're like, oh yeah, sure. Actually, they said, and I don't think this is true, they said this is actually one of your decks. This is like based off of one of your decks. So I don't know if they were talking about like Dagger or Punisher Burn that we played in Standard forever ago that had Swordplate Diplomacy and maybe like Gonti's Mechanicians. I don't know how we were involved. This deck also, this is the best part, it's also based on Mr. Second Amendment. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. I don't know if you remember this. So a long time ago, we did a short about how you can win on turn 0 in Modern. There is a deck that can win on turn 0. This is actually that deck as well. It is possible, if you draw the exact right opening hand, that you can win before the game even starts. You need to draw all of your Chancellor of the Drosses, which drain for 3, and you need to draw 2 Soul Spikes, and you reveal all 4 Chancellor of the Drosses to hit for 12, and then you pitched the Chancellors to the 2 Soul Spikes to hit for 8, and you win before the game starts. I've always wanted to see that happen. It would be probably the most unlikely, the least possible win that could actually happen in a game of Magic. I mathed it out once, and it would take like 3 million games, I think, on average. So I have to get real, like lotto winning lucky to see it happen. But in theory, we can win on turn 0. This is the Twitter deck. This is the infamous Twitter deck. We're gonna see how it goes. So we're gonna start with this deck. I got a couple backups in case this is just absolutely disastrous and we don't win any games with it, but we're gonna start with it and see what happens. We need that Yu-Gi-Oh luck. So hopefully everyone is having a spectacular day. Before we get into it, I gotta say, Phyrexia is absolutely blowing me away. What do y'all think of Phyrexia? We're like 3 days into official spoiler season. We actually got a pretty decent look at the set so far. This set looks so incredibly good. Why is this a Twitter deck? Oh no, I tweeted about losing to the Needlebite Trap, lutri, Grove of the Burn Willows thing earlier this morning, and a lot of people were interested in it. So all right, let's just play the deck. Let's play it and see what happens. So yeah, this set looks so good. The new sword absolutely blew me away. What do we think of the new sword? I think the new sword, I was expecting it to be really bad. I was expecting the new the new sword to be very powered down, but I actually think Forge and Frontier is better than a lot of the Modern Horizon swords, like the best of the recent swords. It's really powerful. Draw 2 and make an extra land drop. I know you gotta play the cards this turn, but it seems really good, better than I thought. The Phyrexian Tyrannosaurus Rex is like so scary. I mean, there's some duds too, like Staff of Completion, probably too much life. What about Atraxa? We had rumors about this new card type. Those rumors are confirmed. Battle is coming. I don't know if I should be excited or scared. Are you excited about whatever battle is? I feel like with the amount of lead up, with Mark Roser talking about the game being changed and all this stuff, it's gotta be big, right? There's no way they're gonna create a whole new card type and have all this hype and not have it be impactful. I mean, I'm excited, but I also like live through companions and so forth, so I'm also a little like, hopefully you nail it with the power level the first time out, which doesn't always happen. Swing for zero, $4.20 donation, very nice. I'm building Elish Norn Mamamonicon with elementals in modern, Dodge of Solitude, Leyline Binding, Unholy Heat, etc. Pretty hyped. When it's done, I'll send you the list. I would love to see it. That's the card. I mean, that's my number one card from the set. It will not be topped, I don't think, no matter what happens. But the set looks so good overall. Penguino, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. So we can talk about Dominaria as we go along. Yeah, the price on Elish Norn is ridiculous. I mean, it's being priced like it's the best commander card ever, basically. Like, it's being priced like the Great Henge. It's being priced like the Meat Hook Massacre. It's being priced like a card that's going to be an all-star in commander and in standard. Which is that basically that price range. I think it's overpriced at this point. I think it'll come down. I think it'll be very good, but I think it'll come down. Elskia, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super you. Thank you. It'll break the game or be terrible. That said, it'll be terrible either way. Yeah, I mean, one thing that makes me nervous is with new mechanics. It's really hard to balance them the first time. Look at like equipment back in original Mirrodin. Look at vehicles when they came out in Kaladesh. Look at War the Spark with static ability planeswalkers. When there's brand new things like that, a lot of times they're kind of busted. We'll see. Hey, Seth, sorry we couldn't get Invictude on Sunday SCG. I ran deep in the Modern 5K. No, that is awesome, Grun. Congratulations on the good run. Yeah, maybe if you're in Philly, I think I'm gonna try to make Philly, so maybe we can do some cubing in Philly. So reminders, replay YouTube. That's where you can find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. Yesterday, we taught some arena zoomers about stacks. If you haven't seen that yet, you should check it out. It was actually pretty fun. Spoiler videos, of course, all this week, all next week, covering all the new cards. So check that out. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need to get some Phyrexia cards, or maybe you desperately need a Needleblight Trap, the new modern hotness, Needleblight Trap, or I don't know, a fancy Tiamat, a Storm Cauldron for some reason, maybe a Chain of Vapor, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. Even get a free Goldfish sticker, just let them know you want one in your order notes. Otherwise, merch page, tokens, t-shirts, playmats, good ways to support the stream and the channel, and the side donations always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. So the plan for tonight, we're playing Modern, maybe Pioneer. So here's the plan. We're going to start off with LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn, which is this deck we're looking at right here. I have no idea what to expect. Like, I have no idea if this deck, it beat me. I give it credit for that. It did beat me somehow. I was working on it against odds deck, so maybe I wasn't the toughest challenge, but I do know it's possible it can win because I was on the receiving end of the beatdown of this deck. It's definitely against the odds. Are we going to go 0-5? Can we win some games with it? I don't know. So I figured we're going to play this deck. I also got a couple of backup decks. We got Modern Soldiers in Pioneer Bard class. So if we play this deck and it's just like a train wreck and we're like, okay, let's do something else. We got backup options, but we're starting with the most beautiful, craziest, weirdest burn deck I've ever seen. So again, here's the plan to this deck. And then we'll talk about all this stuff as we go along. So the plan to this deck, we have Abosh as our companion. for some reason. Why not? Get it in there. We got Lutri in the main deck, so we're kind of double companioned. So how are we trying to win with this deck? Well, the main plan is we burn our opponent's face with Bump in the Night, with Conti's Mechanicians, with Lightning Bolt. We have Sword Point Diplomacy for some Punisher burn. We either draw some cards or our opponent takes 3 damage. They get to choose. We have Kaya, which can ultimate and burn. We got Hidetsugu Consumes All. It's kind of removal. Carnival Carnage. Didn't remember that was a card, but apparently it is. Can be a burn spell or it can be a discard/burn spell. But the real payoff of this deck is what we're trying to set up to win the game is this weird kind of drain burn combo. Chancellor of the Draws. If it's in our opening hand, it drains for 3. We could get the dream draw of the turn 0 win if we draw all the Chancellors and some Soul Spikes. But what we're really setting up with this deck, our big payoff, is we're trying to use Needlebite Trap and also Soul Spike. These are cards that drain for a lot. Soul Spike, 4 damage, we gain 4. Needlebite Trap, target player loses 5 life, we gain 5 life. These cards are really expensive, but we can cast them on the cheap. Soul Spike, it's like a Force of Will. We can pitch 2 black cards to cast it for free. Needlebite Trap, if our opponent gain life, we can cast it for a single mana, which means we can use Growth of the Bird Willows to make our opponent gain life so we can cast it for 1 mana, and then we're hoping that we maybe have Lutri to copy it and double up the drain and the damage, or that we have Vito on the battlefield to also double up the damage in conjunction with these early game burn spells. Hopefully the Needlebite Trap or Soul Spike with Vito or Lutri just closes out the game and lets us win on the spot. The mana base is a work of art. It is the mana base is the first thing that caught my eye about this deck when I was playing against it. It's got all the colors. We got Plaza of Heroes. I have no idea why we have Plaza of Heroes. I guess it's to protect our Lutri or our Vito from removal. We also have Detection Tower. You know the person who built this deck. They got by Leyline of Sanctity a couple too many times. So just in case our opponent can Leyline of Sanctity to prevent our burn spells by giving themselves hexproof, we can use Detection Tower to get around it. Sideboard, a bunch of hate cards, some more burn spells, the Abash, of course. So let's try it. Let's try this ridiculous pile of Magic cards. So, Jay, I want to know, do you think we'll win a game with this? Can we win a game? Can we see the glory of LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn? Can we actually make it happen? Yeah, I guess it also helps cast Lutri and Vito and Abash, doesn't it? 4-1, 5-0, easy 5-0. Easy 5-0. I mean, I just want to see it. I want to see it do what it did to me to someone else. So what are we? Ooh, Pioneer deck around Phyrexia. There's gonna be so many sweet brews out of Phyrexia. We're reaching that point where we've got enough spoilers that I'm like, oh man, there's so many decks I want to build. We're already getting there. Like just looking at the cards that we've officially gotten so far. The White Mythic, I can't wait to play Mordrag with Errata Drobic. Oh, that's going to be so sweet and standard. Atraxa, I mean, that's a fine value card. Elish Norn, of course. What do we think about Capricious Hellraiser? Is this card the best or worst card from the set? 4-0 drop to protect. Yeah, we can't have this list published. We can't let everyone have our tech. Is Capricious Hellraiser absolutely busted or absolutely horrible? I don't know what to think. With Periphery coming back to standard, do you think a Smoldering Egg, what do you think of this Smoldering Egg against the odds deck? Ooh, that could be sweet. I've been impressed with how competitively costed the Proliferate is. Last time we proliferated in standard, it was so overcosted. This time, it's pretty competitive. It's like, here's a pretty decent card. Oh yeah, and I also get to proliferate, which should make it much better, much easier to build a proliferate deck. So a crazy turn to legacy combo with Hellraiser. Yeah, I mean, there are ways if you can like entomb, double entomb, get an Omniscience in your graveyard, get the Capricious Hellraiser. There are ways, like, the ceiling of this card is essentially ETB win the game. Like, if you can hit an Omniscience, or an Enter the Infinite, or even a Portal to Phyrexia or something, you probably just win. The floor on the card is ETB do nothing, so it's very, very, very high risk, high reward. Stream mode. What Dominaria card are you most hyped to build around so far? Oh, we have so much more to see too. Capricious Hellraiser is Schrodinger's creature. It's likely both an amazing and awful card at the same time. It really is, isn't it? MT Carl, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big Soup Jeffrey, thank you. Is this the turn 0 win? Do we have 4 Chancellor of the Drawses? Wow. Well, no, but we have 2 Chancellor of the Drawses. Do we keep this? So wait, we start off trading for this deck. Okay, so drain for 3, drain for 3. Opponent's down to, they take 6 down to 14. This is another 4. This, you know what? I think we keep it. Sure. Sure. Hey, what's up, Lucid? How are you? Oh, this deck already has me laughing. We reveal 2 Chancellor of the Drawses. Drain you. Boom and boom. How's it feel starting the game at 14? Why isn't Chancellor of the Draws busted? I mean, look at how much we're winning by already. 26 to 14 on turn 0. Yeah, you can't play this deck afraid. No. I went way back in time when my Pixis brew was also without counting basic lands, $10 on Card Market. Ooh, Grixis Pixis, eh? Grixis Pixis. Ooh, processors, eh? That looks sweet. Pixis is a cool way to get cards in exile for the processors. That looks, I like how budget friendly it is. It seems like a really fun alter budget deck. Oh, it is kind of like, yeah, what is the card that makes you start at 26 life? Well, Mana Confluence. Go. Opponent. Flooded Strand. Well, maybe we can just hardcast our Chancellor. Ooh, Bump in the Night. Bump in the Night. All-Star Bump in the Night. Bump you down to 11. Down to 11 on turn 1. 9 damage on turn 1. Providence. That's what it is. I do love Lantern Control. Lantern is a sweet archetype. Well, land, go. Opponent, you gonna crack that fetch all the way down to 10 on your turn 1? This will be the nail in the coffin for Nykthos and Pioneer. Ban Karn. Ban Karn. Not Nykthos, please. I really hope they ban Karn first. If you ban Nykthos after, that's fine, but ban Karn first, please. Are we planning on playing these Chancellors? I mean, most of the time we're going to pitch him to a Soul Spike, although if somehow we get to 7 mana, we are not above hardcasting a Chancellor. But yeah, that's not really... Yeah, let's put the Triumph. Triumph, go. Yeah, Karn is just ridiculous. I think it's very possible that Nykthos is a problem as well. But I know that Karn's a problem. Oh, our Bump in the Night. I know that Karn's a problem, so I would really like to see Karn banned and then Nykthos. Yeah, should have left it for cycling. I'm kind of tempted to try to hardcast the Chancellors. I guess that's kind of the trade-off. Do we play lands so we can try to hardcast the Chancellors? Or do we not play lands? Or do we cycle the lands to try to find other cheaper things? Is this deck running Grief? No Griefs in the deck. Although Grief probably would be good in this deck. Well, play the land. Ooh, ouch. I mean, we've gained so much life. We can afford to take a little bit of damage. All right, grab our Abash. Go. Yeah, this is one of the wildest decks I've ever seen. It takes a lot. I play so many decks and look at so many decks and make so many decks. It takes a lot for me to actually just be blown away by someone's deck. This deck blew me away. Wow, that's a lot of Triumphs. Oh no, Omnath. What do we do about Omnath? Opponent. Pass it. I mean, we are surprisingly close to having lethal. Swamp. So like if our opponent takes 1 damage, Needlebite Trap Lightning Bolt is lethal. Yeah, let's just pass and see what happens. Or Soul Spike. Lightning Bolt Soul Spike is lethal. Opponent. Gotta expect they got counters. Shadow Prophecy. Oh, you lose 2 life. You lose 2 life. Bolt you? Soul Spike you? Exile the Chancellors? You get a Force of Negation? No, you don't. Yes! Got him. Shouldn't have cast that Shadow Prophecy about it. All right, off to a good start. What is our opponent doing? Shadow Prophecy. Is this a graveyard deck? Are they playing like 5-color Reanimator? That was a sweet win. Daddy, what are we playing? We're playing LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn in Modern. I promise I did not spend a half hour practicing that name before the stream. Yeah, that was all burn spells. We did not cast any permanents but lands. LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn? That one? Yeah, what is the Shadow Prophecy? Who plays Shadow Prophecy in Modern? What deck are we up against? Esper Control. It's got to be Reanimator, right? I have no idea at this point. I'm guessing Reanimator. I'm guessing it's like 4-color Reanimator. We probably want Surgicals. Yeah, if our opponent didn't cast that, we might have been in trouble. Okay, what are we cutting here? Kaya exiles a graveyard. This actually also I don't know why I got Hidasugo consumes all in this deck, but sure. Let's do something like this. Surgicals in. And then maybe, do we want the Thought Seizes? Let's go to 1 bump in the night for a Thought Seize. And 1 veto for a Thought Seize. Try it like that. And I love that you cut yourself off halfway through thanking me for the gift sub and just yelled, Dandy. Oh, my apologies, Dandy. Dandy. My apologies. Thank you so much for the gift sub, though. I get too excited when our deck actually works. Ooh, we got the Grove of the Burn Willows. Sand doesn't seem great, though. 2 Gonti's Mechanicians. 2 Gonti's Mechanicians, which this deck actually is kind of a thing of beauty. Like, it's a thing of beauty. It's turning on the worst cards, but there's some really cunning deck building here. Gonti's Mechanician, it wants us to lose life, and then eventually it turns into a drain for 3. So we have Gonti's Mechanician Mana Confluence to lose life to make sure we turn on the Gonti's Mechanicians. So this hand is what? Right now, 6 damage and no interaction? I think we mulligan it. Ooh, Sword Point Diplomacy for days. Okay, this will keep. This we will keep. Sword Point Diplomacy, give us some cards. Pump in the night, I guess, to the bottom. All right, here we go. Now this is a draw. Wall of Chaos! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank ya. So how's everyone's day been? Oh, actually, who's going to Philly? I'm trying to find out. I'm trying to figure out for sure if I'm going to Philly. How many of you in chat are going to be at MagicCon Philly? Anyone? Rufine's Tower. Oh, that is the worst time to draw a Chancellor of the Dross. You really want the Chancellor of the Dross in your opening hand or never? No, I would be going to Philly to see people and hang out and whatnot. Why keep Mechanicians over Bump? I mean, so Mechanician's going to gain us some life with the Mana Confluence. We saw random graveyard hate, so I don't think flashing back Bump... Ooh. I don't think flashing back Bump is especially likely. Well, Mana Confluence and... oh, wait. Gonti's Mechanicians. How are we feeling about that opponent? Would you like to counter Arganti's mechanicians? Yeah. Exclamation point deck will take you to the deck list. Yeah, I think if I go to Philly, I would definitely like the Vintage Cube. If you come the best food market in America, really? The food is Philly a food city? I never really do anything in Philly. I mean, I'm not gonna shame anyone for reading this deck. I think I had to read most of the cards in this deck when I first played against it. Oh, you know what was sweet? So I went to Dressed Out. Oh, maybe this isn't Reanimator. You know what was sweet? I went to the SCG New Jersey. This doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while it happens. One of the nice things about doing Magic content is you don't tend to get recognized like outside of Magic events, which is actually super nice. But so I went to SCG New Jersey, and I was going to get a cup of coffee, and there was this guy there that like came up to me, and he was super cool. He was like, "Hey, are you Saffron Olive? I've always wanted to meet you. You got me back into Magic," and said all this stuff. I was like, "Oh, cool." And I assumed he was probably there for the SCG event, because there were tons of Magic players around. I was like, "Oh yeah, are you going to the event?" He was like, "Oh no, like I'm here with my band. We're playing in Times Square." He was with Floyd Nation, which is apparently some like national Pink Floyd cover band. So it was just like the weirdest coincidence that he was not there for Magic at all, but we happened to run into each other. And he gave me a super sweet Floyd Nation Live wristband, and they're actually like super good. I'm not really a cover band person in general, but if you can do it right, it's actually pretty interesting. By the way, Seth, my buddy saying in New Jersey, you got to sign my Infinity Planes as a gift for me. So the awkward conversation you had in Jersey was my bad. I will treasure it forever. Oh, I don't remember it being an awkward conversation. The Tony Mac. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we should have tapped the Confluence. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you for everything. Thank you. Is our... Oh, boy. Hidetsugu consumes all with Ganti's mechanician. Little awkward. So we want a sword point diplomacy, but I think it just gets countered, and I would rather not have it countered. Let's just grab Abash, I think. Yanti's mechanician triggers. So we need one more energy, and we can start burning. Did you see the Atraxa's one of the skins revealed in the Smite crossover? Perfect timing with spoilers. What is the Smite crossover? I saw the skins. What is Smite? I feel like I should probably know this. Yeah, I think we want to finish the Ganti's mechanicians before we hit a Sugu consumes all. Blowing this up for no value is awkward. I mean, it's super cool to see Magic showing up in other people's games. That was something everyone said about the Secret Layers, is like, why don't we show up in their games? Why is it always other games coming into our games? So it was cool to see like the crossover going in the other direction. Basically, League of Legends based around Myths and Gods. That sounds sweet. About it. Oh no. Yeah, we're going to do some reading here, I think. As someone like Atraxa isn't super far-fetched, I gotta say, am I off base with this? I really don't like Atraxa. So I think it's interesting that it's the way they spoiled the new card type. I like that part of it. I like the callback to Tarmogoyf. I think it's a sneaky way. But when I read Atraxa, so for Standard, it's fine. I'll build like Elish Nor and Atraxa in Standard. It'll be really fun. But as a commander, I really don't like it. To me, this just feels like... So I like commanders that push people towards doing a certain thing, preferably something that's narrow and sort of different. Atraxa, to me, when I read this, all it says is play the best cards possible. Like, sure, like, try to split them up between card types a little bit, but really just, like, play the best cards of every type possible, and your deck's gonna be busted. I wish, even compared to original Atraxa, which at least original Atraxa is, like, a good standalone card, at least original Atraxa was, like, play things with counters. It pushed you in some sort of direction, thanks to the Proliferate. Well, he took the Swordplate Diplomacy. Well, activate this. Conti's Mechanicians. Drain you with Gonti's Mechanicians. Hisugu consumes all. Are we countering? Apparently not. All right, pass the turn. But yeah, that's kind of my criticism of Atraxa, is it's just like, play the good stuff. I much prefer like Baru, that's like, put a bunch of worms in your deck, something like that, compared to just like, play all the good cards. I think Atraxa, I've heard some people say it's worse, Niv Mizzet. I actually think it's way better than Niv Mizzet. Like, Niv Mizzet is good, I love Niv, but Niv does have a kind of a strict requirement, where Niv makes you play a mixture of 2-color cards split between all the colors. So it does have a pretty big restriction. Atraxa, it's more mana, but the restriction is way lighter. Like, its restriction is play creatures and instants and sorceries and lands. Like, it's play the things that you're going to put in your deck anyway. Kind of like, you know what a good example I think is Lurrus? It reminds me of Lurrus. Lurrus, part of what made Lurrus so busted is it said, do what your deck is doing anyway, and I will just make it better. Atraxa is kind of the same. It's like, play what you're going to play anyway, and I will draw you a bunch of cards. I mean, it'll be fine. It'll be interesting in Standard. In Standard, 7 mana is a lot. Like, that's a big ask. That's a big ask in Standard. Wow, are we going to lose all of our sword point diplomacies? Opponent, really now. Rusty Shackleford, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your, I guess we should have just cast him. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Tried so hard to play around counter spells that maybe we ended up hurting ourselves there. All right, nuke the graveyards. Play the land. Gonti's Mechanicians number 2. I mean, opponent is down to 11. 11's not a huge amount of life. 4 cards in hand. We'll see. We'll see what they have. So 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. If we could somehow get down Abash. Abash doesn't work with Gonti's Mechanicians, though. There are some weird, like, non-biz. Do you think the World Spell would be fun with the new Mythic Dragon? Oh, is the thing to try to cast from the graveyard? Yeah, that is a good target. The one with the multiverse might be my favorite Standard target. If you can get that on the cheap, that card's pretty strong. All right, here comes the Snapcaster Mage. Down to 19. Opponent passes. Ooh, Needlebite Trap. When it deals damage, put a counter. All right, well, ship the turd. So we can burn our opponent for 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, this is actually like, oh, but they'll gain a life from the Grove. 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, we're actually super close to winning again. Oh, if they cast that shadow, if they cast that shadow card again, I think we win. Punishing Fire would be amazing in this deck, but it's not legal. Oh, Kaya's Guile. Yeah, that's not great. Oh, the life gain. So opponent's back up to 15. And opponent clings to dust. Draws a card. Yeah, kind of. Maybe our opponent doesn't have that many counters. Maybe we should just run it out. Opponent. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Uh-oh. I mean, we can Needlebite Trap whenever we want to. We have Grove of the Burn Willows. I mean, we can trap whenever, though. I don't think there's any rush to I don't think there's any rush to fire off the needle bite trap just randomly. Because we do have the Grove. So Grove taps to add a red or green, and each opponent gains a life. So we'd rather try to wait and see if we can draw like Lutri or something. Some way to power it up. Like Lutri or something. I mean, that does make it a lot better. Wait, what did our opponent do with the Jace? Brainstormed? How do we resolve anything? All right, we'll pass the turn. Oh, what do we do? They still got mana up. I feel like we were about to get countered. Let's see. The opponent cracks. This might be it. This might be our best window. They only have 2 mana up, so we will add a red mana. Opponent gains a life. Add a red mana. Add a generic mana. Add a black mana. Needlebite trap you. Lutri. Copy Needlebite trap. Please don't have a counter. It's otter time. It's otter time. Opponent has no idea what to make of what's happening. I've been there. I have been in that seat. I mean, so we have 2 energy, so I guess storing up a couple more for a future mechanicians. Oh no. They have oh, they counter the Lutri. Interesting. Okay. Seems like it would have been better to counter the Needlebite trap and then the Lutri fizzles anyway, but alright. I mean, opponent goes to 10, but they have a Jace. Christoph, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big skip to you. Thank you. What do you think of Nepali Sun's Vanguard? Uh-oh. What is this card? Nepali Sun's Vanguard in Commander. Oh, it's the new Boros Commander. Nyali Sun's Vanguard. 4 mana, 3/3. Attacking tokens you control of Double Strike. Whenever you attack with 1 or more tokens, whenever 1 or more tokens you control attack a player, exile top card of your library during any turn you attacked with a token you play that card. I mean, I think it's a very nice Boros token commander. It seems solid. You can be drawing 4 cards each turn, plus it's giving Double Strike. Well, we won our first game. We were up a game somehow. The Mike Arnold for the 73rd month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. So we won the first one, but this one, I mean, kind of feels like it's slipping away. Opponent's just stacking up some of the greatest planeswalkers in the history of the game of Magic. They're brainstorming every turn. We tried to do, if we could have resolved that Lutri, we had a shot. If we could have resolved the Lutri, and our opponent was at 5 right now, we actually would be within range of just winning, but the opponent's going to pick up the Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, and draw an extra card, and passes. Our opponent really doesn't want to lose to our deck. I wish we could, boy, we're so close again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we're again presenting lethal. We just can't resolve it through the Snapcaster. We again just have lethal on board though, hilariously. The opponent, I mean, if our opponent tries to Snapcaster the Kaya's Guile, I think, oh no, this doesn't, yeah, they have Teferi, so of course this doesn't work. Opponent, Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, opponent's gonna gain 4. Yeah, Teferi's a problem. It doesn't let us do anything at instant speed. So here's the Kyle guy. Opponent gains it. I mean, the deck is... it's made a good impression of itself. I will give it that. You can't really complain when your pile of jank loses to Jason Teferi and a pile of counter spells. Well, not really. If they didn't have Teferi, they would be dead right here. But because they have Teferi, we can't actually kill them with that on the stack. The Guile of the Kaya. About it. Taking up Teferi. And Jace. Water Bob, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you think any of the new set will have an impact shakeup on Pioneer, even if they don't ban Karn, which they should? I think there are cards in the set that are strong enough to have an impact on Pioneer. I really, truly do. However, I'm not sure what is going to beat out Rakdos and Green Devotion. So I think that those cards will have a much bigger impact. I think those cards will have a much bigger impact if we were able to get rid of... if we were able to get rid of some of those cards. Well, boy, Teferi's annoying. Golly. Golly gee. I don't know how we win from here. Airme, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, surgical... I don't know what to do. If it wasn't for this Teferi... Hey, what's up, King of Carrot Flowers? I mean, we won our first game, which, considering the cards in our deck, is pretty impressive. Well, off to a surprisingly good start. The question is, if we bolt Teferi, is there even... can we win if we do this? I don't... Going down 3 damage means we're super far away from winning, and they have the Jace to lock us? I don't... Yeah, we might just be dead. Alright, they have another counter, sure. Alright, well, we'll call that good enough. There's no way we're getting through this control lock here. Huh. So, opponents just straight up playing control... That makes surgical a lot less... How do they have all the triomes in the world? They look like they were, they look like they were a reanimator deck, but it looks like they're just a control deck. Hidetsugu consumes all doesn't seem great. Let's go back to something like that. Yeah, it must just be for Leyline. Hey, what's up, Armada? Good to have ya! Yeah, control decks are usually good against the janky homebrews. So what do you think of the Phyrexia commander decks? I gotta say, I was actually very surprised. Looking at these Phyrexia commander decks, I was very surprised to see Flawless Maneuver. Normally there's not a $25 reprint in a Commander Precon. The Commander Precons only sell for like $40 normally. So seeing that in there really surprised me, which makes a Boros deck, if you're a Commander player who's just trying to like build a Commander collection, actually seems really good, just mostly because of that. And then you get all the other cards. Tomer, I was talking to Tomer about it, and he mentioned how they normally work so far ahead. So when they were building the deck, very possible they thought of it as like a $10 card when they put it in the deck, and then it's just kept going up and up and up because it's so strong in Commander. But yeah, I would be looking at that one. Corrupting Influence doesn't have that high of a reprint. Nothing at that level. The new Commander cards. What do you think? Here's a big question. How you feeling about Infecting Commander? Like, Infecting Commander, they just printed not Infect, but Poison, rather. They just printed that Poison Precon. We're going to be seeing Poison a lot more often in Commander. Like, a lot more often in Commander. What is the deck name? LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn. Obviously. Never heard of that one before? Poison Proliferate, I think, is a real deal now. Yeah, I still think it's possible we end up changing the rules on poison. Maybe we don't need to. I think so. Here's my theory on poison in Commander. I think the correct number for poison in Commander has always been higher than, well, cannot keep the no lander. All right, veto tribal. I think the correct number for poison in Commander has always been higher than 10. If you go by normal formats, it's probably 20, although I can see the arguments for 15. But I think the correct number I think has always been higher. But no one really plays poison decks. We are 0-0 still. No one really plays poison decks. So there's never been any reason to really think about it or possibly change it. Now it'll be interesting to see how many poison decks there are. I think it's possible that because of Phyrexia, there'll be a lot more poison decks, and that could lead to a rules change. If it's still not like a very prevalent play pattern, or oh boy, that's the second game in a row we've drawn Chancellor on turn 1, our first draw, which is not when you want to be drawing Chancellor. That is the worst time to be drawing Chancellor. I think this deck would probably do better against creature decks. Think of all the life we can gain against creature decks. 20, you might as well just delete poison counters from Commander. But I mean, couldn't you say 40 life? You might as well just delete combat from Commander. Like, isn't that the same? Is that not the same or no? Next, you're going to tell me Serra Ascendant's too powerful, needs to be banned. I mean, the Serra Ascendant thing, I see it the exact opposite way. Like, I see that as a card that Wizards realized it was printed in a way that didn't take Commander into consideration. And then when they've printed future versions of the cards, they refer to your starting life total. So it's not that you gotta go, but you're not gonna go back and ban Serra Ascendant at this point. But they have like taken a Commander into account, and they don't print Serra Ascendants anymore. They print the same card essentially, but with updated wording that takes Commander into consideration. I mean, I'm not saying that we have to change poison, but I think it's a possibility. That's my theory is it's just never been an issue because no one actually plays it. This is Teferi. Okay. Well, life is horrible. I mean, I guess we might as well cast Veil of Summer because it's not doing anything now. Yeah, I think this control deck has got to be like probably about the worst matchup possible for our deck. About it. I mean, if we play Lutri, they just bounce it with Teferi. If we could play Lutri, we'd be able to just kill the Teferi, but that's... we can't play Lutri because there is a Teferi. Hooray for Teferis. Well, we will grab Abash. Pass the turn. Opponent. I think no one plays it because there's a stigma against it similar to MLD. Is there still, though? I mean, so we're getting a poison commander precon. I don't know if there's really that much of a stigma at this point. Imagine if Wizards just printed, like, Ponza commander precon or something. A precon that's, like, all the Armageddons and all those effects. I feel like that's what we just saw, so it can't be that much of a taboo, right? When's the last time you died to Effect? I mean, I always figured I didn't die to Infect because there's like a handful of Infect cards and they're bad, and there's like no Infect commanders. There's what, Skitherix? So I always assumed it was just a product of there not being many good poison cards, rather than the fact that it was an unwritten rule that you don't play it. But maybe it's more the unwritten rule thing. We have a new donation from Winter Milan, $4.20. Seth, has anyone ever photoshopped you as a Chad meme? Like, enter league, play 3 underdoggers, goes 5-0, next week plays Lutri and Vito in the same deck, refuses to elaborate. No, not that I know of. Although that would actually be pretty hilarious. Thank you for the donation. Now I need a Chad meme. Yeah, I mean, run out of mush. Oh, it's just gonna get countered. We know it's gonna get countered. Well, okay. It's just gonna get bounced, I mean. We know it's just gonna get bounced. Hey, what's up, Marcello? How are you? Good to see ya. Ooh, Serum Powder. Serum Powder could be interesting in this deck. Damn. Wow. Opponent left there in their creature removal. And Cling to Dust up to 9. This matchup is so ridiculously bad. What is this deck? LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn. the new modern hotness. Hey, thank you, Steve. I'm glad you like the podcast. About it. My experience with Infect has been that the goal is mostly reached by proliferating, not actual combat, ignoring Triumph. So, if we want to keep talking Infect here's my thinking. Now, let me know what you think of this theory. So my thinking is, and let me see if I can pull up these cards on Scryfall. What do we do this turn? Other than cry about Teferi. Our hand is so locked down by the what a fun Magic the Gathering card. Why didn't they complete Teferi? Come on, Wizards. Come on, please. Complete to death. They did my boy Venserog. They did my boy Kothrog, but Teferi sticks around to annoy a future generation of Magic players. Archmage's Charm to counter the veto. Go. Should have been completed. Should have been completed. Opponent. Teferi's a top 10 character. I mean, the thing is though, Jace was like the face of Magic for the last decade. So I think if they can complete Jace, I think they can complete anyone. Because Jace literally was the poster boy of the game. The Justice League, that whole thing was all about the Jays. Well, we'll play a land. We are getting to the point of casting a Chancellor. Boom, bump in the night. How's it feel to take 3 opponent? You. Teferi's my favorite Planeswalker. I'd be so sad. I mean, Teferi's a cool character. Teferi's a character I've liked ever since, like, the old school creature Teferi. Just the versions of Teferi that exist are... I do not enjoy playing against them. They're just, like, miserable cards to actually play against. Teferi, 9 loyalty counters. Well, it seems like that's going to happen forever. Grove of the Burn Willows. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Chancellor the Dross. Boom. We need Cavern of the Soul on Phyrexia to get around these counters. Zoomy and Lunar Von Hearted. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you. Thank you. So, okay. So here's my question. Going back to our poison conversation. One of the things I think is that is going to have kind of a big impact on Commander is I think we're getting like poison. So Infect, you only really play an Infect. It's horrible outside Infect. Munas, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you. Thank you. Infect, you only play an Infect. It only does anything in a literal Infect deck. You would never play it outside of Infect. It's horrible outside of Infect. One of the interesting twists of Toxic is we're getting Toxic cards that are like good cards that you would play in non-poison decks that also happen to give people poison counter. So one example is Bloated Contaminator, which if you're playing a Proliferate deck, a +1/+1 counter deck, something like that, Bloated Contaminator is legit. Like, people play Thrumming Bird in Commander. They play Thrumming Bird in Commander to try to proliferate. This is like so much better than that. It's a 3-mana 4/4 trample, Toxic 1, proliferate. The Venser is also kind of like that, where when I read Venser, I see like a proliferate commander where you want to play a bunch of proliferate cards and you make the golems and try to do proliferate shenanigans, but it also just happens to give people a poison counter. So these are cards that make me wonder if people are going to play these cards for non-poison purposes. Like Bloated Contaminator, the only card in my proliferate deck that can accidentally give someone a poison counter and end up winning with it kind of accidentally, if that makes sense. Is Poison in Commander broken? I won't say Poison in Commander is broken, but it is easier to kill people with Commander, with Poison in Commander than other formats, I think, compared to the starting life total of the format. Well, there's our Gonti's Mechanicians. The opponent's at 18. 18 is that's a whole heap of life. And they have a Teferi at 10. Boom, Gonti's Mechanicians. Gonti's Mechanicians. Do you have any chance of winning this game? I don't know. Not a high chance. I don't know if I would say no chance. But there's probably like a 2% chance or something. Bumping the Night You. Counter on Mechanicians. Opponent's down to 15. The Tyrannosaurus is so sweet. Venerator Rot Pleased is a super cool card. It definitely is. That card's super sweet. Sorry for a silly question, but is Magic Online automatic at things like Arena? So it's automatic as far as like the rules engine and all that stuff. Where it's not automatic, at least yet, like Arena, is you'll probably notice, like, when we go to cast a spell, we actually have to tap our lands. There's no option for Arena or for Magic Online to just automatically tap your lands for you, anything like that. So that's a bit of the difference. Well, I mean, I don't think this is how the deck wants to play, but how about a full price sorcery speed Soul Spike? Because this is the most loyalty I think I've ever seen on a Teferi. Soul Spike you. How do you feel about 4 to the face, opponent? At this point, we've just given up on Teferi. The Teferi's going to be there. It is never going away. All right, opponent takes it down to 10. We are fighting the good fight. Watch us somehow win this. If our opponent just literally has nothing but a handful of like creature removal, I guess there's a world where it could happen. Oh no, is this Snapcaster? Opponent. Oh, Kyle's Guile gain. That card's so bad for us. Oh, 4 life is so much that undoes our 7-mana Soul Spike all by itself. Hear me out. Tyver's way better than you give credit for. What makes Tyver good, GR Michello? I'm curious. So yeah, I mean, control leads to these kind of matches. This is how control works. Arena auto tapper isn't dumb. It's a hard technical problem. Any choices you make likely going to go wrong at any point. It might be a little dumb. Bolt your face. I mean, you're right. It is a hard technical problem. I do agree with that. Boy, if we could lutri If it wasn't for this Teferi, I think we would just win this game. If it wasn't for Teferi, we would have the win. Because of Lutri. But unfortunately, they have it. You know they're going to Snapcaster the Kaya's Guile. And it's going to undo all this. If we could be Lutring the Needlebite Trap, it would just be game over. It would literally be game over. Come on, no Snapcasters. Opponent cracks. Who plays Snapcaster in 2023? It's an island. Oh, not Snapcaster. Oh no! Why, Magic Gods? Why have you forsaken us? Kaya's. So opponent's gained 8 life now. Takes up the Teferi to 13. Opponent. Getting in. Tyver can give Fable's backside haste to untap for more activations. Jun coming. Oh wait, what was the argument for Tyver? Opponent. Modern elves. Oh, okay, thought sees you. I mean, it's probably good in modern elves. Opponent. Let's see what you got going on over there. I think if they Kaya's Guile again, then I don't think we can win. We just can't deal enough damage. Summary dismissal. All right. We will pass the turn in sadness. Yeah, I mean, I can see where Kyver could do things. The question is it worth playing a card just to do those things? We have 4 energy, but Gonti's Mechanician sacks itself, so you can't machine gun your opponent down again and again. It's a one use. Like, you get the energy and it turns into a lightning helix essentially once you get the energy. But it's just a 14. So like, I could see Tyver being good in Modern Elves. The best thing I've heard from Tyver so far is like powering up the Vanifar combo. I can see something like that. When it comes to, well, I guess we should have sacked it. When it comes to stuff like Modern Elves, the question is always like, is it worth playing Tyver to try to improve one of my elves when I could just play another elf that works with my main game plan? Like, is playing Tyver, which is going to make my Elvish Archroot a little bit better, is that better than just playing a Dwinian's Elite or whatever? Opponent does have the Fear of Gonti's Mechanicians. We got Teferi down to 10. All the way down to 10. Oh god, is this another one? Come on, Magic. That's 12 life. We've dealt more than 20 damage. Our opponent this has to be like the worst imaginable matchup for this deck. It literally has to be the worst imaginable matchup for the format. Who has a whole playset of Kaya Guile in their modern deck? Are you forgetting the trigger on Needlebite Trap? I mean, we can Needlebite Trap off of Grove of the Burn Willows at any time. They're just really putting our opponent to 11 just doesn't, there's not really any benefit to that. That's kind of the issue. Well, all right, let's see if they got a counter. Sword point diplomacy. Opponent. Dovin's Vito. All right, good enough, opponent, good enough. Boy. Well, we won game number 1. Games number 2 and 3, we saw why Teferi is a very fun card to play against. Seth, do you ever find yourself accidentally speaking in a broadcaster's cadence in your normal everyday activities? Like when you hang up the phone to your mom, do you ever stifle a "I'll talk to you soon" or anything like that? Yeah, I that happens on occasion. I think, I don't know, like, I don't intentionally speak any differently when I'm streaming or doing a video. Maybe I do it subconsciously, but I don't know. I don't think, oh, I'm like recording a video now, so I'm going to talk this way, or I'm not recording a video now, or I'm streaming now, so I'm going to talk this way. They were close, and we were playing against absolute top-tier miserableness. Good game, Saffron. That was fun, LOL. Maybe for you, Croach Scruffy. Teferi on 13. Tisk tisk. Good game. All right, let's see if we can play against someone who lets us resolve our fun spells. Ooh, this hand's actually kind of sweet. Needlebite Trap, Grove of the Burn Willows, Vito, and a Chancellor to get the fun started. All right. GVR88, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. I mean, a lot of people in my family call me Saf now rather than Seth, so so I think that's just how it goes. Boom, Chancellor you 17. Okay, so we would really love to get the Vito down before we Needlebite Trap, because it essentially doubles it. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get the Vito down first. In a perfect world. I mean, I guess we can't cast Needlebite Trap till we draw black mana anyway. I don't know about this Plaza Heroes. It's ambitious. Good night from Spain, Seth, and thank you for the amazing content. Hey, good night from the US, GVR. Hello, welcome. Katira Triumph. Oh no. Counter spells, take 2. Black mana. Ugh, more Grove of the Burn Willows. I mean, I guess if we get down a Vito, we kind of have black mana. Pass the turn. Plaza Singing, I mean, it sort of does. It saves a Vito, but it takes a lot of mana. I don't know how often we'll actually have 4 mana up to be able to try to save it. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's better than just playing a normal dual land, honestly. I think part of this deck's choices are designed to be budget friendly. So I think maybe that's part of it, because there's no fetches or shocks or anything. Bump in the night. Well, okay. Plaza Heroes. Look out, the heroes arrive. Vito, go. I mean, yes, we can cast Vito, but untapping with Vito that's a very different question. It has been cast. If we untap with it, we do have black mana. Hey, Seth, isn't your name Seth? Technically. Try non-budget after this league. I mean, so I don't know what non-budget would look like. Yeah, I mean, that's the idea, is this big, like, combo burn finish. Ooh, are we actually gonna untap with Vito? Oh, I hope we draw more black mana. If we draw a black source here and Vito sticks, I think we can just win. We can literally win. Oh, kind of. Oh, kind of a black source. Wait, we got a swamp in this deck, right? Okay. Field of Ruin. Go to combat. Oh, this could work. Hit ya with the Vito. Opponent takes it. Oh, when do we do it? When is our best window? Okay. Oh, no, we can't do it because we need to tap this for red first. Okay, so pass the turn, see what our opponent does. We are close. We are close to the combo kill. Opponent. I think this is the chance. So opponent grows spirals. We make them gain a life. We Field of Ruin the Valakut to get a black source. We get a swamp. We Needlebite Trap for 1. Yes. Vito triggers to drain for 5. We Needlebite Trap for 1. No, not. We have a black legend. We can make black mana. Oh, there we go. All right, Needlebite Trap for 1. Oh, it worked. It worked. Opponent was at 16. Wait, is this deck good? Did we break it? Did we break it? I mean, that was ridiculous. Life is so much better when there's not a Teferi on the other side of the table. Oh my god. That is the power of LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn. Oh, tier 0. Tier 0. Opponent. Trying to validate us. Kira Ashmore for the 70th month. I mean, technically we've won 2 games so far. For the 70th month, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big scoops cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, running like that. Couple thought seasons. Going out the hit to see who consumes all. See if we can actually win a match. Can we win a match? Have there been any new spoilers since we've been streaming? It's been a couple hours. We need our spoiler fix. Oh, sort of. Hexgold Harlbird for Mirrodin. Still, I don't know. Such a cringy mechanic name. So 3 mana or 2 mana 3 to equip. Equip creature has first strike and trample during your turn. I mean, that's not horrible for an uncommon. So 2 mana 2/2 during your turn, it's first strike trample. I don't know if that's, I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily like standard playable. Maybe in an equipment deck if you really care about equipment, but that's not bad. That's not bad. I feel like the power level of this set's actually pretty high. I feel like it's higher than Brothers War. I feel like it's higher than, ooh. All right. Yeah. I mean, looks like the nut draw to me. Vito. Needlebite Trap. Soul Spike. Opponent. I mean, this is going to be another one. Can we get the veto down? Can we get the veto down in time? Win a lutri. Well, step 1. Bump in the Night You. Pass the turn. Battle will be, oh, I missed it. By the way, battle will be what? I mean, I don't think anyone really knows what battle will be. Everyone's speculating. What are your thoughts on planeswalkers that got completed in all that all will be one? Not their cards, but their characters. My expectation is they come back. I don't think it's a little disappointing, but I don't think being completed actually is going to mean much. I imagine that there's some uncompletion that happens, and that most of them actually just return to normal. I have a gut feeling, oh boy, we're really good at drawing Souls, Chancellor of the Draws right after we can't get value out of it. Well, Gonti's Mechanicians, go. Hey, what's up, Philosopher? That was actually one of my first thoughts, too. That battle would be some sort of... But I don't know how it works, because it's going to be a card in your deck, presumably. We've never seen a card type that would count towards a Tarmogoyf effect that hasn't gone in your deck before. But my first thought was something that overlays the battlefield. Kind of like the planes in Plane Shift. Which would kind of be like... So, like, the plane shift cards are things like this. Like, whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, the controller puts a token on the battlefield that's a copy of that creature. Maybe not that exact effect, but something that, like, changes how the game is played, which would be very much like the lanes in Marvel Snap, where they have abilities that are actually very similar to this. So, I can imagine it being something like that. I just don't know how to work with the... How would it work with the actual gameplay is the big question. That's the Vanguards. Could be like Vanguards. But how do they start on the battlefield? Like, do you have a separate deck? Like contraptions? Oh no. That is the downside of Chancellors. They are not good. They are not good top decks. Well, we will pass the turn. So imagine this: 3 mana battle enchantment, create an emblem named Zendikar. In this plane, creatures tap for 1 mana of their color. I mean, I think it could be something. Okay, so you think it would create it would be a permanent or a creature that creates an emblem? So you'd have a battle, would be a card, and you play it and it creates an emblem, and the emblem has the effect. That could be possible. Yeah, based on Atraxa, they're going to be real cards that go in your library, that go in your graveyard. Because Atraxa wouldn't make any sense if the battles didn't go in your library. About it. Is Chancellor, I mean, is Chancellor a good card in this deck? Chalice on 1's actually not that good against us. I mean, I don't know if any of our cards are actually good cards in our deck when you really think about it. I mean, look at this pile of cards. Soul Spike, Vito. It does allow for a potential turn 0 win. It's 1 in 3 million or something, but Scar Shot, welcome to the Bitch Bowl. Thank you so much. Land. Thank you so. Aww. Well, we can't even guess that. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we might start hurting ourselves for energy. Oh, this Ren is going to ultimate here very shortly. I mean, we have a lot of points of burn in hand. Not enough to win the game, but ugh, oh boy. Dry to the Ilson Grove. And a Triome. I mean, this is 4. This is 4. This is 3. If we could only get down the veto, like if we had just drawn land so we could veto into these cards, we'd get the combo kill like we saw in game number 1. We just don't have the... Well, why didn't they crack their land? We just don't have the mana for veto at the moment. Well, all right. Yeah, we are going to power up the Gonti's Mechanicians. Ping. And untap. And draw. Ooh. Huh. That's a lot of damage. 4, 8. It's actually a lethal amount of damage. Wow, we've been stuck on 2 lands, and I think we have lethal now. Wait, let's think about this. So Soul Spike, if we pitch this Soul Spike, I guess we pitch this? We want to wait and see if our opponent cracks this land or taps out. So Soul Spike, pitch these 2 cards. Soul Spike, pitch these 2 cards. Cast this. Discard the loot. Okay, we're good. Yeah, we gotta discard the lutri, I think. And then we just discard our hand and win. We're hoping if our opponent goes to crack this fetch, I think we just combo kill with it on the stack. All right, does not crack the fetch. We'll see. This Ren ultimating is a bit scary. About it. Yeah, we gotta pitch black cards. Someone posted an article about Morrow talking about how they almost printed a subtype or mechanic called Skirmish. A lot of people think Battle might be like that mechanic. Yeah, I read about the Skirmish mechanic after people mentioned that. It seems possible. The Skirmish mechanic was... Okay. So I think we try to win with the triggers on the stack. Got him! I mean, we should have them, right? They put the triggers on the stack and then we just... and then we just soul spike them? Oh, this is so hilarious. Opponent thinks they got us. They think they got us. They think they got us. But little do they know. All right, opponent gets a bunch of triggers. Sure. However, we have responses, opponent. So, first, you get to gain a life. And then we will spend a black mana, which will trigger Gonti's Mechanicians. We will Needle Bite Trap you. We will Soul Spike you. This deck is so wonderful. Yes, that's a match win. That's a match win. We discarded our entire hand. So good. I can't believe that worked either. I mean, that's a legit top tier deck too. I wonder if our opponent's enjoying this or if they're salty about this. I think it depends on how you interact with Magic. I thought it was hilarious as I was losing to it, but what the heck is this deck? That is a very good question. The deck's kind of working. We're 1-1. We're 1-1. I can't believe it worked. A reminder, if you need any of these cards, you can get them from our awesome sponsor, Card Kingdom, over at cardkingdom.com/MTG The deck is actually not that expensive either, which is kind of hilarious. It's not really budget, I wouldn't say. Uh-oh, the deck command is not working. It's not really budget, but if you look at the deck list, $347.79 Magic Online. The expensive pieces, I guess, are the mana confluences, really. If you could build this with a budget mana base, the deck would be so cheap. But that was a sweet win. That was a really sweet win. 2 lands and Gonti's Mechanician, all the permanents you need. That's it. 300 not expensive. I know. Magic warps your way of thinking about prices. Obviously, $300 is like a rent payment or whatever. Like it's a ridiculous amount of money. But compared to most modern decks, if you're used to playing modern and your baseline is, 1,300, 1,100, 1,100, 900, 1,200, if that's your 1,700, if that's your baseline, then 300 is like, wow, that's actually like way cheaper than most decks. But obviously in the real world, that's a huge amount of money. Where is rent 300? I mean, you probably got to have some roommates. Maybe many roommates. Okay, maybe car. How about that? It's a car payment. That might be a better way of putting it. Any thoughts on something like Dash Hopes in this deck? Seems just wacky enough to be on theme. Ooh. Dash Hopes is pretty horrible, but if there was ever a deck that could make it work, it's probably this one. Ooh. This is the if we hit lands, it's great hand. Do we keep this? Hand's really bad unless we hit lands. We get to drain for 3. Opponent Shingatha. Drain for 3, do nothing. I guess we also need a way to turn on Needle Bite Trap. Yeah, we better mulligan it. Hey, Swordplate Diplomacy. Okay, this will keep. Put a Soul Spike to the bottom. All right, let's see how it goes. If my 21 land deck in Standard is any indication, we should make it to 5 lands, no problem. That sounds like an arena issue. Grove of the Burn Willows. Ew. I know, that's why I love keeping one-landers. It's not my fault. The Magic gods just really didn't want us to win. Oh, Ragavan, eh? Ragavan. Well, yeah, we gotta kill that. Edgar Rager, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup for you. Thank you. Out Field of Ruin, go. Would this land cycle be... look how good those trees look. I hope they finish it just for the art. This wouldn't be overpowered, right? This is a pretty fair land cycle. I guess it benefits control more than aggro, which is maybe a concern. Your aggro decks, oh, come on. Come on with the Ragavans. Oh, boy. Wow, if we draw a Black Source for Hidetsugu Consumes All, our life would be so sweet. We just get rid of both of them. Oh, come on, deck. Come on, deck. Show us that. Show us that swamp. Show us that swamp. About it. Cracks a bobble. Turns on the DRC. Swamp on top. Swamp on top. Kingdom Man. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you. Oh, it'd be such a good draw. Thank you so much for your subscription. Oh, no. It's not a swamp. Opponent cracked this bobble and they are reading. It's got to be like Gonti's Mechanicians. Or maybe like a Soul Spike or Needlebite Trap. It's got to be one of those weird cards because they were reading with that bobble for like a minute. So you know it's not a land. Yeah. Chancellor of the Draws. Okay, yeah, that also checks out. Kingdom Man, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you, Rooker? Good to see you. Opponent. Yeah, blue-white version for control would be really strong. I mean, I don't know, though. Are they that much stronger than, like, fast lands? I don't think they're stronger than shock lands. I don't know if they're, like, would it even be stronger than fast lands? Probably better in control, but worse in aggro. I think they'd be printable. I think you could print the rest of the cycle. We always draw the Chancellor of the Draws. It's a tradition at this point. I think it's happened every single game. At least the last two matches. Every single game we top deck it on turn 1 or turn 2. Which is absolutely horrible. It's like drawing a ley line on turn 1. It's so bad. Chancellor of the Draws, unfortunately. Yeah, now we're getting Ragavond. Our opponent can counter our stuff. I think because we missed that land drop, pretty unlikely that we win from here. I don't really like the Nimbus Maze cycle, personally. It's okay. Like, it's not bad. But I think it's less exciting than the Grove cycle. It's pretty much, like, they're so similar to... They're just like worse buddy lands for the most part, right? I mean, I guess they're not worse because they always come into play untapped. But to make the colors, it's kind of just like clunky buddy lands, clunky Glacial Fortress. I'm not actually sure that Nimbus Maze is stronger than Glacial Fortress. And we have so many lands now that Glacial Fortress isn't really, outside of when it's reprinted into Standard, it's not really that playable. Well, okay. Lightning Bolt on top. Opponent took the Hidetsugu Consumes All. How many lands is this deck playing? Maybe not enough. Well, I mean, we got to try to kill the Ragavond. We can't let this just keep happening. All right, opponent lets it go. But opponent's not having trouble hitting lands. 23 lands. Yeah, 23 is not a super cheaty number for a deck like this. Yeah. About it. I tried to build a Grimoire of the Dead deck filled with all the Chancellors. Never got it to work, but maybe you could make it shine. Ooh. Wait, Grimoire. I remember that card. Don't you discard cards and then reanimate stuff? Well, I mean, we found the swamp. It's about 45 minutes later than we were hoping, but we did find it. Boom. How about some sword point diplomacy, opponent? Let's see if our opponent knows how Needlebite Trap works. They should not give us the Needlebite Trap. The Needlebite Trap is super scary if we can cast it. So opponent has to take 3 for... Okay, opponent mills gets rid of the Needlebite Trap. Gets rid of the Needlebite Trap, gives us the Sword Point Diplomacy and the Field of Ruin. Alright, opponent. Oh, are we just dead? Oh, that would be unfortunate. Down to 9. Because well, I mean, I guess if we get really desperate, we can pitch cards to Soul Spike to gain some life. Watery Grave untapped. Opponent hits us down to 6. What's the follow-up? Underworld Breach. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, so we're dead. They can just bolt and bolt. Yeah. Underworld Breach has really become a card, hasn't it? So we got a now Soul Spike. Oh, this feels so bad. All right, Soul Spike. Go up to 10. This does keep us temporarily alive. We're just short on damage to win. This is assume. Oh no, it's not going to resolve. Oh no. Okay, Lightning Bolt. Oh, and they get to surveil. Oh. Yeah, dead. Oh, so close. So close. Yeah, I mean, I guess we needed to do it with the Underworld Breach on the stack. Yeah, I guess I wasn't taking into account that they could surveil another card with Dragon Rage Channeler. Oh boy, Modern Horizons 2. MH2. Uh-huh. Yeah, we could not draw a land that game to save our life. I don't know. What about these Field of... this Mana Beast is so weird. Detection Tower, Field of Ruin. All the swamps in the world. Plaza of Heroes. I don't know if this is like... they just get to keep casting the lightning bolts from their graveyard. Underworld Breach is quite the magic card. Why were you dead? Oh, I mean, the bolt resolves, goes back to the graveyard, then they just cast the same bolt again? Yeah, I'm not... I guess the idea is it's supposed to help cast Lutri and Vito. Vito shouldn't be hard to cast, though. So far, it hasn't felt like the protection mode is relevant. Yeah, they just... The first bolt resolves. We go to 3. It goes back to the graveyard. Then they just cast it again with the treasure mana. We go to 0. So we died to the bolts before we even get to resolve the Soul Spike. I mean, I'm guessing that... So, Vito, we've seen our combo kills. When we actually do the thing, it involves Vito. It's like Vito, Needlebite Traps, Vito, Soul Spikes. So I'm guessing the idea is to protect Vito. The thing is, we're playing Modern. I just don't think there's... I don't think it's practical in Modern to be leaving up 4 mana to try to protect Vito. Vito, if it's going to die, it's most likely going to die immediately. Like, the turn that we play it, it's just going to get killed. So I think the odds that we actually get to protect Vito with Plaza is very, very low. Do we... Yeah... This is one of those decks where the idea is really sweet, and we've seen it do some really powerful things. But it's also definitely a bit of a brew, so I bet it could be tightened up around the edges. All right, we get to play first. Well, all right. Can we draw some Magic the Gathering land cards? Yeah, we'll see. We'll probably look at the mana after... Well, we'll see how this match goes. After we know we can't win a treasure chest, we might see if we can change up the mana and give it another couple matches. Yeah, I'm guessing the ideas are supposed to be good against, like, Tron or something? I don't know. I haven't really figured out what the Field of Ruins are for. Yeah, Abash is cool, although Abash also... I think it's worth it because it pitches to Soul Spike and works with some of our stuff. Abash is a little weird, though, because it only works with, like, some of our cards. Well, we got a Plaza of Heroes. I mean, we're going to keep this. The Hidetsugu Consumes All could be good if we can get it down in time. Well, Savri Triome. Opponent. opponent, Dragon Rage Channeler. What deck was I playing when we ran into it? Playing an Against the Odds deck that's coming up next week. Well, okay. 2 Gonti's Mechanicians. That's some very awkward life gain. Yeah, I don't know about the... What do you think about Hidetsugu Consumes All? It's not really a burn spell. And it blows up our Gonti's Mechanicians. I think that field is more for Urza Hate and fixing your black mana. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Hating on Urza Saga makes sense. Fixing black mana, could just play another swamp. Bobble leaves it on top. We really need to crack these Mechanicians before we hit a Hidetsugu Consumes All. Opponent cracks, takes a peek. Opponent. All right, we get some counters. Bobble. And we draw Vito. Oh. How much damage can we deal here if we veto? So we cast Vito. Gonti's Mechanicians hits for 6. Soul Spike hits for 8. Not quite enough. That's 14? I think we gotta wait. I don't think we run it out if we can't win with it. I think we wait another turn. Next turn, we get enough energy that hopefully we just veto and win on the spot. There is an Urborg in the deck. Hey, what's up, Lord Morgan? How are you? How important is Abosh? Because without him, you could play a A2A. Well, I mean, Abosh is nice, but I wouldn't say it's super essential. It's helpful. It does power up some of our cards. And it is another card we can pitch to things. Ooh, Expressive Iteration. Oh, please no Thoughtseize. Please no Thoughtseize. Mills a Ragavan. So it's a huge Expressive Iteration. I think we win if we don't get Thoughtseized. Ragavan. Okay, opponent. I mean, Thoughtseize or countered. Opponent hits us. Okay, we get the counters. Mechanicians triggered. Mechanicians triggers. That's enough energy. Veto time. Veto time. Yeah, veto only specifically works with damage. So Abosh, for example, won't double up Gonti's Mechanicians or Needlebite Trap, but it will double up Soul Spike. All right, 4 energy. Swordpoint Diplomacy. Well, I mean, we gotta go for it. Play a veto. Gonti's Mechanicians drain you down to 7. Gonti's Mechanicians drain you down to 1. And now I think we just pass. I think we just pass. I don't think we pitch all of our cards yet. Opponent's at 1. They're at 1 life. Once they tap out their blue mana, then we can go for the win. Opponent. Bloodstained Mire, not cracking that, has to attack. Are we going to win with a veto attack? Opponent, it's us to 19. Death Shadow. That's a big boy. And okay, this is fine. We hit a Hidetsugu Consumes All. If they counter that, then we can win with the Soul Spike. I think that's the plan. So play the land. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Hidetsugu Consumes All. Make our opponent use their removal. Okay, there's the Spell Pierce and Soul Spike. No one expects the Soul Spike. Whoa. It worked. It worked. Oh, opponent cracks the fetch. I mean, so I think the way to think about this is it's a combo deck. It's essentially a combo deck. You're trying to set up this combo win. We have seen Vito be absurd. Like Vito with like nothing, even tapped out Vito is often just lethal with what's going on with the rest of the deck, which is hilarious. Yeah. The combo works. We could probably make it more consistent, but the combo does work. Hey, see you, motherfucker. Thanks for swinging by. So this is actually that guy. I was recording Against the Odds yesterday, and someone played this against me, and it was just the most ridiculous thing. So I got the deck list from him so we could try it. Hey, good to see you, son of Apollo. Hopefully you had a super fun weekend. How was SCGCon for you? Are you? I mean, we're kind of winning. We're 1-1. We're 1-1 and 1-1 in this match. So, sort of. Actually, sort of. Maybe we don't want the Thought Seizes. Let's go. Maybe Veil of Summers. Maybe Veil of Summers better. Let's try it like that. Run it back. Oh, it is super janktastic. We had our pleasantries. And then when they Thought Seizes, they said interesting, and they said GG when we actually won one. All right. I mean, we'll try this. We'll give it a go. Is this deck possibly the best against that style deck ever? I mean, it's pretty funny. I don't know. I don't know about best ever, but I do like it. Hey, what do you suggest, Wondrous? Oh, red mana. I don't even know. Does our deck even have untapped red sources? I don't think so. Okay. Draws a card. Oh, another lightning bolt. Well, got his mechanicians go. Yeah, I don't know what the best ever against the odds deck is. There's been some good ones over the years and some bad ones. At some point in the future, could you try a new mono red devotion deck in Pioneer? Ooh, yeah, we've played some, oh, there goes our red mana. Ragavan. Yeah, I think the mana base is the easiest thing to fix in this deck. The Panglacial Wormkill is pretty awesome. Are we going to spike? We can't spike the monkey. We can't discard our entire hand to answer a 1-drop. Well, there's our Urborg. Yeah, the mana base of this deck is a problem, I would say. I think that's the biggest issue we've had with the deck is the mana is just real bad. Do you think that Bant Coco is viable in Modern? I mean, viable-ish. It's powerful. Like, Coco's a very powerful card, and there's good hits from it. I don't know how it lines up with all the free evoke elementals. I think that would probably be the question. Can you? Well, I'm glad they exiled the Chancellor. We were trying to draw it again to keep the tradition alive, but the Ragavan beat us to it. I don't know how it lines up with the evoke elementals. That would be the thing to figure. Oh no. What are the odds that there's always a Chancellor on the top of our deck by turn 3? What are the chances? Like, mathematically. Gonti's Mechanicians is way better than anyone gives it credit for. I mean, maybe. It's kind of like a Lightning Helix that can only hit opponents and you can't use right away. So I think it's probably better than anyone gives it credit for. Should it be a card that like most decks play or anything? Probably not. I wouldn't think. All right. Well, Fable the Mirror Breaker. Opponent passes. Can we draw a Chancellor? I'm kidding, deck. Please no. Please no. A way to upgrade this deck would be to run Cabal Coffer's Urborg in the deck, running Corrupt and Exsanguinate, maybe. Ooh, that would be interesting. Go with the big mana plan. I could see trying that. I mean, I think the biggest thing is we need a mana base that actually lets us cast our stuff. That's where this mana base has been failing us pretty consistently. Is just like no black mana, all black mana. Like it's just the mana base has not been good at actually casting things. Bear's doing great. He's taking a puppy nap in the next room, I think. About it. Bloodstained Mire cracks it. It is one thing I love about this deck is it always feels like we have a chance to win just because we have so much random damage in hand most of the time. Oh, well, 2 Death Shadows. An opponent having infinite treasures. Oh, will you please stop stealing our lands, opponent? For the love of God. Steals a land. That Ragavan has hit 3 lands that we desperate. Oh, Plaza Heroes is... It's incredibly bad. Alright. Go. Your go, opponent. I mean, we can't cast the Needlebite Trap because we don't have a way to make our opponent gain life. So we can't cast the Needlebite Trap. We can Soul Spike Gonti's Mechanicians. I mean, we can cast Kaya, but... Well, I mean, I guess we can... If we cast Kaya, then we'll have to pitch the Needlebite Trap to the Soul Spike. Like, how can we actually win this game? Being able to cast stuff, but outside of drawing lands to cast stuff, this is 4, this is 3. Like, if our opponent hurts themselves enough, we might be able to... We might be able to just burn them out? That seems possible. Grove of the Burn Willows. One of our lands is the idea for making them gain life, but we haven't drawn it this game. We can't make them gain life with what we have currently. I mean, I guess we can still play it. It might get a counter out of our opponent's hand. Kaya? About it. I think after this match, what do you think? So we'll be all right. There's a Spell Pierce. So assuming we lose this match, what is your vote, chat? Do we finish out this league? We'll be 1-2 in this league with some really sweet wins, but some really mana screwed losses. Would you rather finish out this league with the current build, or see if we can upgrade the mana and yeah, we're just dead, right? This is awkward because if we make our opponent lose life, it just grows the Death Shadows. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So would you rather fix the mana or just finish out this league? Fix the mana. All right, let's fix the mana and try some more matches, because the biggest frustration, the plan of the deck has worked. The idea, we've seen the combo do like hilarious, spectacular things. The problem is the mana base has kept us from being able to cast our spells with any amount of consistency. All right, so quick upgrade in chat. If you have any other ideas, hey, what's up, Eddie Skinny? How are you? If you have any other ideas of what we should add to this deck, let me know. Because this would be the time. So, okay. So first, we got to keep the Grove of the Burn Willows. That's an essential combo piece. Plaza of Heroes seems incredibly poor. This stuff can go. Mana Confluence we probably got to keep. Although maybe we don't if we have fetch lands. So I think we want to... I mean, so we need red and black mana. That's a very convoluted mana base for a deck that is essentially Rakdos. I mean, I guess we have some... We have 2 Veil of Summers in 2 Crime Punishments in the sideboard. So we want a little bit of green, but we have that Grove of the Burn Willows. But we're essentially just a Rakdos deck. I mean, I guess there's a Kaya as well. So, I mean, I guess we are kind of 4 colors in a weird way. Kaya, though, doesn't seem like it's doing much. We might be able to improve on that. Chancellor of the Dross has been less than impressive. I mean, it's been impressive sometimes, but then it is a very bad draw. How important is Kaya? I don't think Kaya is essential. We'll put it in the sideboard for now. Yeah, I don't know about. Let's fix the mana first. Step 1, let's see if we can fix the mana, and then step 2, we'll work with the non-land cards. I mean, Lutri's pretty funny. I don't really want so in some sense, you'd be like, well, you should just cut all this and play Ragavans and Dragon Rage Channelers. I kind of want to try to keep the spirit of the deck. That's what drew me to the deck. So I don't think we want to I'm fine with cutting Kayas or changing Carnival Carnage, but I don't think we want to go too far, because the reason we wanted to try playing the deck was because, okay, so let's do it this way. Fix the mana. Let's fix the mana, and then we'll go from there. So Bloodstained Mire to get shock lands, and then we might need, we might still have green cards, possibly. So that and that. Then we need some shock lands. So we need 2 Blood Crypts. Are we keeping the green cards in the sideboard? It's not a very high cost. Not a very high cost to keep, just play 1 of each shock, and we can still play the green cards. And then Blackleaf Cliffs, probably. Actually, we probably want a couple basics. We at least want some swamps. All right, let's add a couple swamps. So Castle Lochwain. Our hand's never going to be empty enough for Castle Lochwain, is it? How many fetches do we want? I mean, I guess we could keep 1 Triome. Please do Spark Trooper. I don't know if Spark Trooper, does it really do anything with this deck? Why would you play Windswept Heath here over Wooded Foothills? Oh, that was just that was a misclick. It was supposed to be Verdant Catacombs. I thought I was grabbing Verdant Catacombs. 22 lands, 1 basic swamp, maybe 2 basic swamps. I mean, maybe that's fine. That should be a lot better than it was before, at least. Okay, so lands are good enough. Lands are good enough. So what are we thinking for non-land cards? We drop the Kaya. We can get rid of that. That's not really necessary. Yeah, the bot's down at the moment. I can put a link to the deck list in chat, but I think the bot is currently broken. So the biggest thing I'm curious about is, well, I mean, we're basically Rakdos, but we got a couple green sideboard cards. What would we like to add? That's the biggest question. So Needleblight Trap, that's a combo piece. Soul Spike, that's a combo piece. Swordpoint Diplomacy, I think gets a pass because it's funny. Vito's a combo piece. Lutri, I think, gets a pass as a combo piece. We're kind of built around Gonti's Mechanician Lightning Bolts. Those gotta stay. We also gotta consider, so Mana Confluence helps turn on our Gonti's Mechanicians. Seasoned Pyromancer. So Seasoned Pyromancer just for filtering. Zoff Consumption. Yeah, we can add a couple MDFCs just for pitching purposes. Hidasugu's got to stay for fun. I mean, we can, if it's fun, we can keep it. Is there anything, is Swordpoint Diplomacy good enough? What was the other one? How bad is Browbeat? Browbeat's probably horrible. I mean, the Punisher cards are all horrible, but Swordpoint Diplomacy wasn't that bad. 5 damage, or you get to draw 3. Yeah, that's not very efficient. So if we bring in Grief, we would have to get rid of Abash. Is more burn needed? Dash Hopes would also make us get rid of Abash. Is Lutri necessary? Necessary, probably not. But it is one of the reasons we want to play the deck. I mean, I don't want to kill Lutri, I don't think. Lutri does funny things. It's part of the funny combo. Part of the funny combo kills. Bone Crusher could be fine. Like, that is a good card. Sovereign's Bite. What other drain options are there in Modern in our colors? So Sovereign's Bite's another one where you'd have to cut Abash. So I think if we're going to add something that's not odd mana value, it's going to have to be very exciting. So Sovereign's Bite would be fine, but I don't know if it's exciting enough to make me want to drop Abash. So I think odd cards are going to be the easiest to find room for. Can't let the deck name. That's actually not a bad rule. Cannot cut any of the namesake cards. Target player loses X life and you gain X life for X is the greatest power among creatures. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. I mean, we could add another Sword Point Diplomacy. We could add another Lutri. Each opponent discards 2 cards. If you control a vampire, each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. Retrace. Risk Factor. We could go Risk Factor. That's one that we played in the Punisher Burn deck. I like that you can flash it back. Or jumpstart it, whatever that mechanic was called. Like that's a nice upside. Ooh, Homes of the Vein. So that's like Sovereign's Bite, but Madness for 1. I don't think we have a way to Madness it, though. Blight Priest is extra vetoes. What is the actual text on Blight Priest? Whenever you gain life each... so you only hit for 1. I don't think that's enough in Modern. Could be like a standard version. Is there any, like... Are any of the big X spells worth it? Someone mentioned, like... Okaiba Gang Raid. Yeah, I mean, the easy choice is move the Thought Seizes to the main deck. Whenever opponent... Oh, we could... Gray Merchant, we don't have enough permanents. What about the other one of these? Sanguine's Bond. Sanguine's Bond is veto. Is it just too slow? Like, Sanguine's Bond is veto on an enchantment. It would technically do what we wanted. Yeah, I don't think I can add Ragavan. I think Ragavan's a bit too top tier for this deck. I mean, Sanguine. Well, in Modern, Sanguine Bond is pretty memey. If you're a Commander player, it might not be. Vexing Devil. Vexing Devil is legal. There's our Chancellor. Needlebite Trap. Oh, here we go. 7 mana veto. Defiant Bloodlord. I forgot that was even a card. Profane Command. What? I mean, probably just adding Thoughtseize to the main deck would be the easy way. Like, fix a mana, keep the deck as is. Move the Thoughtseizes to the main deck, add something to the sideboard. With Veto, Spark Troopers 4 mana, burn them for 12. Yeah, I think so. One of the challenges is, I mean, I think that's definitely would be super funny when it worked. It's another even mana value card, and it is kind of dependent on getting in combat damage. So I think not sure it would actually exactly fit the deck. Sleeper. I actually got to look this up. I know it's a 1 mana 3/3 that you give to your opponent. How much damage does it give us? So 1 mana 3/3, give it to our opponent. Beginning your upkeep deals 2 damage to you. Oh, but we're taking 3 and they're taking 2. That seems bad for us. Okay, so here's what I would say would be the most. I can't believe I'm using the word competitive, but I think the best version of this deck with what we have right now would probably be something like this. Like, we put Thoughtseizes in the main deck. Put the Thoughtseizes in the main deck. Move 1 Hidetsugu Consumes All to the sideboard. and then add something else that we're missing to the sideboard. Why no Vexing Devil? So Vexing Devil, the way this deck works is we don't deal enough damage, basically, I don't think, for Vexing Devil. If you've seen the games with the deck, it tends to be no damage, no damage, no damage, 16 damage, 20 damage all in one turn. So I think that Vexing Devil, we would basically just play it, and it would turn on all of our opponent's creature removal, and then it'll die. Like, I don't think anyone's going to take the 4, because we can't pressure enough to actually make them do it. Yeah, I think that would be the issue. Vexing Devil can work in decks that can, like, really pressure, like burn decks. If you can get your opponent low enough, you can put them in this, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But I don't think our deck can do that, because it's such a weird, like, combo-y style burn deck. Yeah, but Vito, ideally, hopefully, we play it and just win. We, like, play it and immediately Soul Spike. We have the Gonti's Mechanician set up. So, hopefully, we just win the turn it hits the battlefield so our opponent can't really interact with it. So, when Vexing Devil needs to, like, stay out and attack for a few turns to really do it. Deck's not a deck that can take advantage of turn 1 Thoughtseize. So, you would say not play the Thoughtseize. I mean, Thoughtseize is just good in any deck. Hey, thank you for the t-shirt compliment, Bitu. I'm sure I butchered your name. My apologies. Setesnia Uprising. It is even. All right, chat. This is it. We got to make our last. We got to make our last choices and play some games. We essentially are dealing with 3 slots. I'm sure there's more we could do. We could argue over Bump in the Night if we want it. It's close enough that I think we'll just leave it. I mean, I guess, okay, what if we go with the rest of the Punisher burn? We don't have any more, so, oh. What is the red one? Is it Jumpstart? Is that the mechanic? Target opponent may have risk factor deal 4 damage to them. If they don't, you draw 3 cards. Collective Brutality is sweet, but it's even. We'd have to lose our Abash, which I don't think we want to do. Skelemental could be okay. Not risk factor. Is there anything else we can pitch? I think we got all the pitch cards. Erebos' Intervention. I mean, something like Erebos' Intervention could be okay. It's just like another removal spell, essentially. Sickening Shoal. Oh, that only kills creatures. It is a pitch card, though. Yeah, I don't think... I guess we got all the good pitch cards that we can play. Nemesis Trap. Exile target attacking creature. Creature token is a copy of that creature. Exile at the beginning of the next end step. That's kind of a funny card. Are traps good and just no one plays them? We do need at least... I mean, we gotta add something to the main deck. We'll add the 1 risk factor. I don't have another Sword Point Diplomacy in my... How about this? That, and then... Breaking Point. What is Breaking Point? Hey, Crowfoot Crawford, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 4th month. Thank you for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. So much fun. What do you think about the Black March? That only hits creatures, right? Can that hit opponents? I'm pretty sure it only hits creatures. If it can hit opponents, it'd be really good. Blue Spikes, welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super chat for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good enough? Good enough, chat? Should we just run it? I mean, Bone Crusher is good. Is it too good? Is it too good for what we're trying to do with this deck? Oh, actually, Invoke Despair. Invoke Despair is actually kind of on theme for this deck, honestly. Invoke Despair. Yeah, Bone Crusher might be too not janky enough for this deck. Invoke is on theme. I only have one in my collection. You know what? Let's play one Invoke. Let's do this. Let's do one Invoke. We'll leave the Thoughtseize in this. How about that? How about that? One Thoughtseize. One Thoughtseize deck. It is heavy on the mana cost, that's for sure. Do we have enough black? You know what? Boom. Let's run it. Let's run and see what happens. Worst case, we'll just pitch it. We'll just pitch it away. Yeah, we added a risk factor. We got one. I only had one of those in my collection too somehow. All right, here we go. Here we go. Too many one-ofs. We need to end up with 30 one-ofs. Oh, we got close. We got close. All right, updated Albash Drake, take 2. This time with mana. Could run Griefs to pitch the Chancellors. I mean, we're hoping to pitch the Chancellors to Soul Spike mostly. Full Life Fiend would be okay. So I think one of the upsides of the deck is we're not a creature deck, which I like. Lutri Companion said Abash. Oh, it would it'd be so hard with the Soul Spike plan because there's just not many of those cards. There's not really ways to replace them. Sometime we'll have to build a Lutri deck though. The one thing I don't like about Lutri, and I don't know if there's a way around, has anyone built a Lutri deck that isn't a control deck? Every time I see a Lutri deck, it's just like, oh, I'm playing Lutri, so instead of 4 counter spells, I'm playing 1 counter spell, I'm playing 1 mana leak, I'm playing 1 remand, or instead of 4 terminates, I'm playing 1 terminate, 1 go for the throat, 1 doomblade. Has anyone built a Lutri deck that isn't that? Those decks, it's like, hey, it's kind of cool that you have a Lutri, but it's still just like essentially just a control deck playing slightly worse cards or whatever. This hand, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 if we can cast it. 15's a big number. 15's a big number. We finally got the Chancellor in hand instead of coming off the top of our deck. Oh, we'll have to play Seismic Swans again sometime. Seismic Swans, good news. It interacts really well with Fury. Furying your own Seismic Swans is sweet. Bad news is it interacts very poorly with Solitude. Getting a hit by Solitude is not as sweet. Yeah, we're gonna try this. This is good enough to try. This for our deck. This is kind of the dream, not the full dream, but it seems like an average to above average hand for this deck. Hitter Swans draws some cards is kind of a classic. What do you think about the Pauper format? I haven't played much Pauper recently, but I really like the Pauper format. It's a format where I have gone through times when I've played a lot of Pauper. Sometimes I've very much enjoyed it. I just haven't played it a lot recently, but it's pretty diverse usually. It's cheap to get into, which is a huge upside. I was talking to someone at SCD New Jersey this past weekend, and they were talking about how they spent $800 to buy someone's Pauper collection, and it was literally the meta game. It was like the top 20 decks in the meta or something like that. So and that would be the cost of like a modern deck. So they went out and spent the cost of one modern deck. They now own essentially every tier deck and playable deck in the Pauper format, and they can play with their friends or bring them their LGS and play against people. Yeah, whenever anyone sees this, they have no idea what to do. So that's one of the big upsides. Oh. after after all that reading, they take the bump in the night. That's the simplest of all the cards. Well, I mean, Blood Crypt untapped, and there's our one Thoughtseize in the main deck. Thoughtseize you. Cool. Sword of Fire and Ice and Counterspell. Golly. Oh. So I want to take the counter on principle, but we probably got to try to play through it. We don't have ways to kill a creature with a sword. If they draw a creature and put a sword on it, you think take the counter and just try to win? Just go for it? No fear? Our opponent's got to be playing like fairies, I would say. If I don't know why it's in the deck, make them discard it. That is a pretty good rule. All right. I'll go with you, chat. We'll take the somewhat risky plan of taking the counter spell. I mean, ideally, we'll just kill our opponent. That would be the best. Polluted Delta. Opponent passes. The other thing is they probably have a bunch more counter spells, but probably don't have another sword. That might be another argument for sword. That's true. If we lose, it's your fault, chat. I'm holding you to it. We are playing LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn version 2, rebuilt with better mana. Opponent. Kolikin's Command could be good. Being able to get the veto back from the graveyard. Oh no. They're not playing the sword, so they must have drawn a creature to flash in, I assume. Another Soul Spike. Well, tap land, go. Yeah, we should have taken the sword, I think. Chat. Okay, Psycho Ravine's Tower. Okay, we're good, chat. We're good. It's not your fault yet. Okay, there's the sword. We knew it was coming. Come on, deck. Veto. Ooh. Wow. If we can find a way to make our opponent gain life, we can just win. We need the Grove of the Burn Willows. That's the missing piece of this puzzle. Marsh Flats for our opponent. Passing. I mean, and I guess dodging the counter spells, but opponent passes. Grove of the Burn Willows. Ooh, Sword Point. Okay. I mean, that's sweet. Probably gets countered, but that's sweet. Sword Point Diplomacy. Opponent. How much do you feel like taking, friend? Oh God. Oh, they're going to take 0 and give us all lands. I mean, I guess that's not the end of the world. Wow, that is the worst Sword Point Diplomacy. It does mean we can hardcast our big stuff eventually, but Black Cliffs go. We're gonna be able to cast this Chancellor here in a minute. Please don't flash anything in. Crack some Marsh Flats. Oh, I really don't want to pitch our hand to these Soul Spikes to kill a creature. Watery Grave tapped. Oh, no creature. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we're gonna be hardcasting this Chancellor shortly. We still have like 3 fetchables or something. We have enough. Oh, another boy. Well, okay. Bloodstone Mire, crack it. Get a swamp. Is there any way our opponent gains life with their deck? Look at this hand. If our opponent ever gains life, they pay the ultimate price. Yeah, if we can draw Grove of the Burn Willows, it's just GG. Do we bump in the night? Get Abash? If we get Abash, then we just got to discard the hand size, don't we? It is another card for pitching. But then we're just going to... Yeah, I don't think we can do that just because we got to discard the hand size. Well, yeah. Bump it. Down to 10. Are the traps actually good? Oh no, they had a loot gain spell. Oh no, and they get a spirit for this. Oh, they had the life gain. If we had just waited. Oh no. Oh, if we had waited, we would have killed him with the needle bite traps. Oh no. Oh. Wow. Okay, now our opponent hits us and starts drawing cards. Yeah, this is actually pretty bad. This is why we were scared of that trap earlier. Oh, no. Well, okay. Crack the land, get a swamp, pass the turn. Well, we have reached the hard cast stuff point of the game. Will it ever resolve against fairies? Very likely not. Opponent, gonna go to combat. Going to attack. Oh, yeah, we can cast Chancellor, but I don't think we should. Yeah, I mean, I think we... Chat. Remember this sword and that decision back on turn 1? Remember that, chat? Remember that? Do you remember? Do you remember when we took the counter spell instead of the sword? Mm-hmm. All right, Snapcaster counter spell. I mean, we are losing to the sword. Our opponent would have like 0 clock if it wasn't for the sword. They'd be hitting us for 1, but instead they're hitting us for 5, and we're dying next turn. Well, hopefully we draw a Grove of the Burn Willows. Opponent plays a tap land. I mean, it comes down to this draw. What is it? Hidasugu consumes all. So now what? I mean, we soul spike, but then they just put the sword on the Snapcaster, and the same thing keeps happening. And then we've also spent all the damage we need to win. Oh, we can't. I mean, we can't. If we do that, though, we're never going to win. Like, if we hit a Sugu consumes all to kill this, and then pitch 3 cards to kill a Snapcaster, there's no way we win from there. If we destroy the spirit, though, then they just put the sword on the Snapcaster, and the same thing. That is the power of swords. That is the power of swords. I mean, I guess we can just play we play the Chancellor and hope that it lives. Yeah, 10 damage in hand doesn't do much, though, when your opponent's at 14. And they're drawing extra cards too, so they're drawing the counter spells. Hardcast Needlebite. I mean, any of these things work to keep us alive for a turn. The question is, how can we win? Just staying alive for a turn isn't all that valuable. We gotta figure out a way that we can actually do this in a way that could lead to us winning. That's the hard part. It might just be run out the Chancellor and hope for the best. That's probably... We just can't keep getting hit by the sword. Like, if we keep getting hit by the sword, we just lose. Yeah, I mean, we're going to play Chancellor and see. We probably just end up losing because they can kill it. If they can't kill it, this is great. But most likely outcome is they kill it and we die. Opponent. Oh, boy. Oh, no. Is this the same person we played in our first match with the last game? Oh, my God. Remember the first match we played? Remember the first match we played with the initial build of the deck, and it was Teferi in a place at Akaya's Guile, and it was like the worst Snapcaster. It was like the worst thing ever. Is this the same exact player? Yeah, but 9 AM doesn't do anything if they're at 14. That's the thing. that is the heart of the issue. Kind of like mill. Like, milling 50 cards sounds sweet, or milling half of your opponent's deck sounds sweet, but that means your opponent has a whole nother half of their deck, so it actually kind of does nothing until you do everything. Until you get rid of that last card, essentially. Yeah, we can't crack the fetch. Our only land left is a shock land. Why play this over budget burn? Oh, this is like a million times more interesting than budget burn. So this is one of the most unique and coolest decks I think that I've seen in Modern. It's definitely an against the odds deck from a competitive perspective. I think you would definitely play budget burn. What was the idea with Abash, Wonder? I mean, you can also potentially win on turn 0. We haven't got there yet. I think it was 3.2 million games on average. So we have like, wow, 3.1999996? No, 4 games to go. Hey, what's up, Kamikaze? What was the Abash line you were thinking of? Abash in 2 spikes for 16. Abash, yeah. Abash Soul Spike is sweet, for sure. Kind of like the Vito. It can be a backup Vito. Apparently the bot is down at the moment, so the deck list is not working, sadly. All right, reveal the Abash. Yeah, this is, well, we'll see. We're gonna give it our best shot, but this is not the matchup we. Oh, there's all the Grove of the Burn Willows. There's all the groves that we could not find to save our life last game. Oh, if we could have drawn one of these, we had like the sweetest. Oh, we had the sweetest hand last game with one of those. All right, Bloodstained Mire, crack it. Get a Swamp. Thought sees you. See what this dirty control deck is up to. Does Obosh work with drain cards? Obosh does not work with drain cards. I actually think, so question chat, if we took the sword with that Thought Seize, we would have won, right? Almost very likely. Well, I guess we just take the Geist. That's a pretty fast clock. Geist down. Go. Yeah, Abash being able to be pitched is, yeah, there's no way we're ever beating it, guys. Abash being pitchable to stuff is actually pretty relevant in this deck. All right, well, Bloodstained Mire, thin the deck, pass the turn. Opponent. Yeah, opponent's deck does kind of seem like it. Oh, come on now. Come on now, off the top. Opponent had nothing going on. It does kind of seem like a deck from a few years ago. Well, get a Blood Crypt. Tapped. I mean, I guess we're going to have to bolt the Snapcaster now. Well, let's see what they're getting. Probably Cauldron complete. All right, gets the Cauldron complete. So we definitely got to bolt the Snapcaster. There's this Soul Spike. Well, bolt the Snapcaster. Grove of the Burn Willows. Opponent's still at 20. 20 so much. Check out my new and improved Invoke Bombardment list. Dude, let me see, Dragon Archmage. Arcane Bombardment is a really sweet card. It's a little sad that there's like so much enchantment hate in Standard right now. It makes it tough to keep any enchantment on the battlefield, but it is a really sweet card. All right, we're gonna get our Eyebash. We're gonna play the Bloodstained Mire. I will say, our rebuilding the mana base, it has let us cast our spells, which has been nice. It's been nice to know that we can actually cast our stuff. I mean, that looks super fun when it goes off, Dragon Archmage, for sure. If you can get the bombardment to stick, Explosive Singularity, Invokes, and big scores. Looks, it's just it's a really fun card. Looks super fun. What do you think about the green Dominus? It's essentially a natural growth on a stick. So I've been, oh no, another Stoneforge. Wait, wasn't their hand all lands and a Wandering Emperor when we thought seized them? Where are all these Stoneforges coming from? I haven't really thought much about the new leak cards. Since we're in the middle of like actual spoiler season, I've mostly just paid attention to all of the actual spoilers that have been coming out. So I haven't spent much time thinking about no. You gotta be kidding. Wait. Oh, so, well, okay. So opponent's draws were Stoneforge counterspell. Like those were exactly what they drew. That's unfortunate. Well, hit the Stoneforge. Oh, we have spent so much damage on silly Stoneforges. Opponent. Well, we know there's a Wandering Emperor. We know that's coming. We know there's a Batter Skull. We know there's a Cauldron Complete. A Bump in the Night. Yeah, this is where you can see the Eyebash can be a bit sketch. We're going to run it out. But if you look at our hand, Eyebash only technically works with Soul Spike. Bump in the Night doesn't work with Eyebash. Needlebite Trap doesn't work with Eyebash. Only Soul Spike actually works with Eyebash's ability. Opponent. I mean, I think that whole cycle, we've seen the white one of the cycle that's an Anointed Procession. I think that Mythic cycle is going to be very strong. I think all of them are designed to be strong. So I expected the green one, even though I haven't really thought about it very hard. Seriously. Draw a land for once in your life, opponent. Draw a land for once in your life. All right, opponent peels it to Fairy. Opponent passes. We draw another land. Okay, well, we will play an Eyebash. Overgrown Tomb. We have drawn a lot of lands this game past. The turd. Card Shot. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup tier for you. Thank you. All right, sure. I mean, what do you even say? What do you even say about that? Holy running. Good to meet SC Decon, New Jersey. Hope you had a good time. Hey, great to meet you too, Corporal Raja. Hopefully you had a good time as well. Yeah, it was super fun. Staff of Completion. How would you? Yeah, that was some ridiculous. Well, and mostly because we thought seize them on turn 1, so we knew that none of those cards. We knew their hand. It was 5 lands and Wanderer or Wandering Emperor, so we knew what their hand was. And it. Oh no, Kahir. Are we just going to play Teferi decks nonstop, apparently? All right, hooray, hooray. Hooray for Kahira. I mean, that's what you're hoping for. If you keep the 5-lander, you're hoping that you do exactly that. Been trying to prove to my playgroup that it's not only Mir the Magnificent, not a joke, but she's a competitively viable commander. What do you think of my Storm deck? Oh, let me see Card Shot. All right, Drainia. I mean, I think Mir is actually a very strong card. So You don't gotta sell me. You don't gotta sell me on Mira being very powerful. The one thing I'll say, have you got to play with? Have you got to play with? Have you got to play with Mira much yet? Yeah, I mean it looks very strong. Have you got to play with it much? I know I played my Yarok Attraction deck this weekend a little bit, and the thing I ran into was it ended up not being that much fun in the long run because it was just super taxing to try to keep up on all the triggers. Once I got a bunch of attractions, I find myself like begging for someone to Vandal Blast just so I would not have to spend like 10 or 15 minutes trying to resolve a bunch of like somewhat meaningless triggers every turn. Have you run into that at all with Mira? It really, it's funny because oh no, this is just straight up creatureless control again. No. Every time. All right, Bloodstained Mire, go. Have you run into that at all with Mira? Ooh, volcanic fallout, eh? I mean, having instant speed burn spells should be like kind of good. Although that kind of falls apart in the world of Teferi Time Raveler. Teferi just undoes all of it. I mean, we got our opponent down to 13. 13's not super high life total. This might be one of those games where if we can just get our opponent to tap out for a turn, we can kill him. Vito would go a long ways. More Schwamps, eh? Well, 1, 2, 3. Grab the Abash. I mean, because so we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points of damage. It's not lethal, but it's not nothing. About it. Island. Add. It's Kahira. We draw more lands. Well, okay, Black Cleave Cliffs, go. We went from being stuck on... I don't know what happened with us changing the build of our deck. We went from constantly being stuck on 2 lands to having all the lands we could ever need. Do you reckon Izuri Infect Toxic could work in EDH? Haven't played EDH in years. After I got tired of all the politics that happened during the matches, yeah, that's kind of commandery. But could you consider giving it a shot again? But could consider giving it a shot again, since a lot of my current play group plays EDH when we gather to play. Ooh. I mean, we don't really have a kill at the moment. We don't have enough damage to actually kill at the moment. Another bolt, eh? Well, we're getting close. I mean, we're getting to the point where if our opponent ever taps down, if they ever tap down, we can resolve our spells and they die. Bolt, bolt, bolt. Soul Spike. Archmage's Charm. Okay. Bolt you. Bolt you. Bolt you. I don't know what to do. Is it better to wait or do we just fire it off? Six in hand. I don't know if they would have countered before this. I think maybe they should have cracked their lands before this. When we'd like to do it is in response to our opponent going to crack the first flooded strat. And that's the ideal window, because then we can't get countered spelled. The question is Is our opponent going to crack these, or are they just going to leave them? Are they going to leave them uncracked? We also have to pitch both of our cards that we could actually cast in the future. What do you think, chat? What do you think? Give me your vote. Do we fire it off and just hope? We do have a bump in the yard. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Do it. Do it. YOLO. Go. Slow roll it. Do it. I mean, chat's always going to say do it. I know that about... I've learned that. All right, we're going to do it. Soul Spike. I'm not slowing and rolling the opponent. I'm trying to figure out if we should cast it. It's not BM, I promise. No counter? Oh. Wait. Oh. Modern Horizon 2. All right, opponent pitches their hand. Solitude's a solitude. Goes to 3. Draws some cards. I mean, they didn't have the counter. There's no way of playing around. There's no way of playing around Evoke Elementals, really. They exist in their own world in Modern. They do what they want. I mean, we made our opponent pitch most of their hand to do this. There's Big Teferi. All right, let's see if they got another counter. Opponent draws a card. Plays a tap land. Untaps. The moment of truth comes again. 1 point of life. We draw Chancellor of the Draws. Bump it. Attempt to bump it. Come on, Magic Gods. Be good. Reward us for our tight plays. Oh, we did it. Okay. We beat the control deck. Well, that game. It worked. All right, chat. That's on you. That you convinced me to do it, and it worked out that time. It actually really, truly worked out just to fire it off. So, good job, chat. The playing without fear actually paid off that time. Well, we got to go down Hidetsugu in this matchup. Hidetsugu doesn't do anything. The Veil of Summer seemed nice. Then we don't got to worry about counters. Yeah, I think we bring in Veils and Thought Seizes. And go down what? We've drawn so many lands, we could actually cast Invoke Despair. I don't know that chat's always right, but credit where credit is due. Going for it there definitely worked out. And the bump in the night. Is it broken? Actually, why don't you think people play Bump in the Night more? Just the colors, I guess, is the issue. But I mean, Lava Spike with Flashback is, in Burn, that's actually very efficient. How's the weather in New York? Good for New York in the winter. It's like, I don't know, where are you from, Michello? In Fahrenheit temperatures, it's like 32, which I think is 0 Celsius. But yeah, it's like cold and a little snowy and icy, but that's just the way New York winters are in general. But for New York winters, actually not bad. All right, going on 1 Mechanicians, 1 Bump. I actually like the risk factor. Let's go down 1 Lutri, run it like that. Applied for a job at TCD Player. Hey, awesome Dragon Archmage. That would be spectacular. Ooh, from Brazil. How's the weather in Brazil? I assume it's very nice. Yeah, I mean, this time of year, actually though, really it's been a very mild winter here. We had 1 land, 1 keep. I mean, if we draw a land, this hand's sweet, or 2. We had one really, really cold bad. Ooh, lutri. We had one really cold bad week around Christmas time. But other than that, it's actually been for New York winter terms. It's actually been pretty mild. I think channel on 1, eh? Well, I guess we might as well bold him. Channel on 1 is okay, but oh, it happened again. Well, maybe we gotta cut chancellors. The odds of us always drawing one on turn 2 or turn 3 is like, it shouldn't be that high, but it is incredibly. Oh no, I've seen this too many times. All right, boom, game 3. we're not sitting through this with one land. How does that happen every time though? I really don't understand how that happens every time. All right, we'll keep the Abash. Well, all right, Gonti's Mechanicians. This time we got the Chancellor in hand. We got the Mana Confluence to go with the Gonti's Mechanicians. This is a hand that could really use a Vito. Vito would be so good with this hand. I mean, I guess since we rebuilt the deck, we've only played one match, right? So it should be 0-1. It does feel like that, Star Cookie. Almost every single game we draw a Chancellor on turn 2 or turn 3. Every time. All right, reveal the Chancellor. How do you like us now about it? I like the amount of card draw this hand potentially has. Gonti's Mechanicians, go. Between Diplomacy and Risk Factor, we might be able to draw some cards. Why are you playing Dovin's Vito in red-black? Wait, who's playing Dovin's Vito? About it. Flooded Strand and passes. Another Needle Bite. All right, opponent. Gain a bit of life. Gain a bit of life. Actually, just draw land. Oh, Vito. Vito Thorn of the Dusk Rose. The 3-drop vampire. Not Dovin's. Vito. About it. Triume. And Scalding Tarn. Come on. Land. Soul Spike. That's not exactly a land, okay? We will pass the turn. We're probably going to start mana confluencing ourselves, I guess. Oh, now we're getting stuck on lands. Opponent. Oh yeah, rebuilding the deck, that makes sense to restart. We didn't finish the league, so we'll never know. Castle Vandress. Teferi. Of course. Takes it up. Oh, Teferi is so incredibly annoying. Okay, can we draw land? Can we draw land, Magic Gods? Yes, finally. Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Lose a life. But now we have to play a sorcery speed. Get a Blood Crypt untapped. Swordpoint Diplomacy. Those are some hits. those are some hits. Soul Spike, Swordpoint, Lightning Bolt. Okay. I mean, Swordpoint's potentially up to 9 damage. Well, 9 life loss, I guess, but still. For 3 mana. Let's see what our opponent says. It's good work. If we ever draw a way to cast the Needlebite traps, it becomes very good. Never seen Swordplate in my life. We played a janky standard deck around it. Wow, all right, opponent goes to 9. Gets rid of the Bolt and the Soul Spike. Gives us another... Or the Bolt and the Yeah, Soul Spike, and gives us another sword point diplomacy. All right, we will pass the turn. Here we go, opponent. So opponent's at a virtual 6. Opponent takes up to Fairy. Plays a land and passes. We draw a Bolt. Well, I mean, I think we just sword point again. Sword point diplomacy. Opponent counters it. We pass the turn. Oh, we need the life gain. We need the life gain. If we can draw the Grove of the Burn Willows. All right, opponent's going to try to bounce. We're going to fizzle it. Hit you down to 6. Opponent plays a Mystic Gate. Oh, Teferi Tribal. Big Teferi. The question's going to be if they have a counter. Do they have a counter? We're sort of presenting lethal if they don't have a counter in the face of 2 Teferis. Grove is game if we draw it. Opponent untaps. Oh, it's a Grove. It's a Grove. It's a Grove. Oh my God, it's a Grove. Oh my God, it's a Grove. So, Lightning Bolt your face. Gain a life. Opponent goes to 4. Needlebite Trap. 1 mana. You got a counter? You got a counter? Counter spell. Oh, guess what, opponent? Guess what, opponent? Guess what, opponent? Guess what? We did it! We took down the control deck. Okay, Needlebite Trap Power. They have literally activated our trap card. Actually, we activated our trap card, but with our Grove of the Burn Willows. I mean, this deck isn't, for as ridiculous as this deck looks, it's not bad. And did we break it? Deck's busted. It's not bad. It's been competitive-ish. It's been competitive-ish. Oh, and it's just the way it wins is just so funny. I still kind of love this deck. I feel like there's got to be. Could you imagine if we ever get to play against like Burn or something? We just gained so much life that I feel like Burn would have no chance. It is a pile of bad cards, but with their powers combined, they can become kind of decent. What's the best way to send me a deck? I think the best way is just email. I mean, you can send it in a chat, and I'll look at it right during the stream. But usually the decks that we look at in the stream, by the end of the stream, they float off into the ether because I don't leave them all open. But if you want me to have a copy to consider for like a video or something, saffron@mtggoldfish.com. Yeah, we went 1 in... Oh, the list is so odd. We went 1 in 2, and then we decided to rebuild the mana base, and we're 1 in 1. At the moment. I'm doing well, Wall of Chaos. How are you? Good to see you. I really want to get the... Yeah, Swordport Diplomacy has been impressive. It would be so sweet if we could get the turn 0 win. It's one of those things that's so unlikely that... Well, alright. I mean, I guess we keep this. It's one of those things that's so unlikely that you can't even really hope to get it. There's some like little, it's like winning the lottery. Like you can't hope that it's actually going to happen, but there's some like little tiny chance that the coolest thing in the history of Magic could happen any game. Anytime we fire up our opening hand, that 1 in 3 million hand could come up. What would be a good breakfast cereal name? Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of damage. We got the Grove to turn on the Needlebite Trap. We got Gonti's Machinations. We got the Bolt. LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn. I don't know. It kind of rolls off the tongue. LutVitOboSoulNeedlePoint-DiplomoBurn. 4 modern. Seagrove goes for our opponent. Esper Sentinel. Alright, sure. Little annoying. Is this hammer time, probably? Well, Bloodstained Mire. Go. Chance of Chancellor in hand is 460 times 7. Chance of Chancellor on the top of our deck after drawing our... Oh no, are they just doing it? Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. Sure. Alright, no hammer yet. Well, crack the Bloodstained Mire. Huh. I mean, this does work for our opponent, but why? They don't know our deck. Such a... That line is very weird to me in the dark, because if we have Fatal Push... I mean, now we do lose. Because we don't have a way to kill this. But if we have Fatal Push, don't they just get super blown out? Huh. Alright. I mean, it plays around, like, literally Bolt in specific, but I don't know why you would necessarily play around just Bolt with blood when you see a Bloodstained Mire. Yeah, alright, fair. Hammer time stuff. Don't scoop. Well, we were going to draw Needle Bite Trap, Soul Spike. Actually, we wouldn't have got to the Soul Spike, right? We'd be dead in 2 turns. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Abash. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Crime and Punishment. I mean, that could be worth considering. Hidasugu Consumes All actually is pretty good. We can go down and Invoke Despair, maybe like the risk factor. Let's try the crime punishments. Let's try the crime punishments. Yeah, Abash giving away too much information. Oh, all right. Well, now... Oh... Yeah, I mean, we have 6 in hand, but not enough. Now I kind of wish that we... Go crime punishment, I guess. I think we actually just put this Chancellor to the bottom. The 3 is not... Actually... yeah, let's just put Chancellor to the bottom. Mana Confluence go. Now I kind of wish that we had played it out. I didn't think we could win from there, but maybe the life gain. Maybe the life gain would have kept us in it long enough. You know we're gonna draw it. That's the way it works on Moto. Anything you put to the bottom, for some reason it seems like you're super likely to draw the next turn. I mean, I wasn't seeing a way, but people in chat seem to think that we had a shot. So it wouldn't have hurt anything to get smacked by a huge Esper Sentinel for a couple turns, just so we could see how it played out. I thought we were dead, but I could be wrong. Shadow Sphere. Well, Hidasugu Consumes All. Boy, we have the control hand here. If we draw the lands to actually cast our stuff, we can do a... Oh, okay. Well. Oh, and a Stoneforge. Boo. Boo. What are we taking? Going for a sword. Well, we gotta kill the Stoneforge. Untap. Vito. So I think we just punishment away the... I mean, essentially a sinkhole. Blow up the Urza Saga. Let's slow things down. About it, Untabs. Yeah, the deck doesn't have a ton of ways to add consistency. You just kind of hope for the best. Hope for the best, mulligan a lot. Ugh, more vetoes. Well, I mean, I guess we might as well bump in the night. Not doing anything in hand. Being able to blow up Urza Saga is pretty nice. Opponent still has 7 cards in hand. And they play so many sort of Fire and Ices. We've seen a lot of... It's almost like Wizards putting that new sword has just reminded people that swords exist. Well, okay, pass the turn. Well, at least we did not draw the Chancellor, which is nice. I thought for sure we were going to draw it on turn 2. About it. Wow, there's been like no new spoilers during our stream tonight. I'm surprised. I'm surprised there were no spoilers. Another Urza Saga. Well, there's the land. Says only of X. What is the best way of doing this? So Needlebite Vito is actually a lot of damage if we can get to it. We haven't gotten to it yet, though. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the bot tonight. It was working earlier in the stream. I mean, Vito is nice with Needlebite Trap. I guess... Oh, we really can't afford to get hit by this stuff. Yeah, we'll play Vito, see what happens. If they start... We can't let them start gaining life. The upside of this play is, if we can find another Needlebite Trap, maybe we just get them next turn. Like, double Needlebite, I think, is lethal. Yeah, Ginger Brute would be the blowout, but usually there's not many Ginger Brutes. Oh yeah, the new Kadaltha Rebirth, I think, is actually super good. I think everyone's going to overlook that card, but it's just like a random common, and it doesn't look like much, but I'm hyped about that. Now that we have that and Kadaltha Rebirth, I feel like we could build a new version of 8-Whack with both of them. Kadaltha Reverse is pretty powerful. Plus, like, you get the upside of blowing up your opponent's stuff. Seems like a really Gleeful Demolition. Seems like a really good uncommon. What do you think of this new style of ramp? What do you think about, like, Expand the Sphere? It seems like Wizards is going more and more towards this, like, non-tutor ramp, essentially, where rather than searching for lands, you look at the top of whatever and get to put some on the battlefield. I'm curious if it makes sense it makes a lot of sense for how this card is worded, because you have the option to essentially fail to find and proliferate. I assume the goal is to have there be less shuffling in Commander in specific, and I guess other formats, but mostly Commander. Needlebite Trap. Oh my god, it is Needlebite Trap. Okay. I was not expecting to actually draw the Needlebite Trap. That changes. I mean, now we technically have lethal if we can just resolve our spells. That would actually just win the game. They're not playing anything, though, which makes me think, like, counters seem likely. Should we be blowing up the Urza Saga and waiting? That's the other question. Are we better off trying to, like, play the control game? They gotta have a handful of counters. I mean, I guess if we try to crime punishment, the counter still gets us pretty good. They just counter it and make the token, and then sword and shadow sphere, and we get wrecked. So that still kind of wrecks us. Yeah. All right. Oh, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna go for it. I don't think it. I don't have faith that it's gonna work. I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's gonna work. Metallic Rebuke or like a Spell Pierce is probably what I'm most afraid of. I guess I could also just have like a bunch of blacksmith skills. Actually, probably the best time to do it. I think we just wait. I think we wait. They're gonna lose their Urza Saga. They're going to be very tempted to load up a bunch of equipment on this construct. Maybe they just... Wow, they've drawn a lot of lands. Oh, no. Okay, well... Now all of their equipment is free, so if they have a counter, they win. Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Also pretty good. That's a 17-17. And it's a Colossus Hammer. All right. Well, here we go. Opponent. Gain a life. Needlebite trap you. Come on, no counter. No counter. No counters. We want to do it now before they draw off the Pure Steel, basically, is the idea. We were hoping they were going to spend their mana to equip, but the Pure Steel lets them leave all their mana up, which is not great for the tapping out plan. Okay. Hit ya. Well, I mean, that one wasn't lethal. Did they just let it resolve? Because it wasn't lethal. Needlebite number 2? Hold. Come on, Needlebites. Come on, Needlebites. You know, our opponent was not expecting to even be threatened with lethal here. It is hilarious how much damage this is. Come on. Come on, opponent. Just take your medicine. Take a little Needlebite trap medicine. Come on. Antwon. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup to you. Thank you. You never know what your opponent's doing. Are they trying to figure out what counter spell to use? Are they smashing their keyboard? Did they throw their laptop out their window? With a deck like this, you never know. Are they typing a congratulatory message into the chat? Wait, did this actually just work? Did we... They might have been texting a friend. You can't believe what just happened to me. Oh, okay. Well, veto power. Veto power. It is so funny when it works. I mean, yeah, run it back. See if we now hammer him. Variant. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup trivia. Thank you. I wonder. Oh, Trickbind would have been brutal for the 69th month. That's a good one. Very nice. Thank you very much. Yeah. I mean, so okay. So we played a bunch of games with this deck. What's your overall impression? Mono green going to be standard playable? I mean, the meta's still hostile, but the green cards from Phyrexia are so good. So what do you think? Now that we've played this deck a bunch, I will say that it's better than I expected it to be. It's better than I expected it to be. I was not expecting it. Like, okay, so when I decided to play it for the stream, I was a little nervous that we were going to, like, not win at all. And like, in the match that I lost to the deck, that the opponent just got, like, super lucky and I ran bad, and it was just, like, the 1 in a million against the odds win. After playing it, it's a little better than I thought it would be. I don't know if I'd say it's like good or competitive. It's like super fragile is a good way to put it. It's kind of inconsistent. When it's at its best, it's actually like super powerful. But when it's at its worst, it does kind of nothing and has a lot of uncastable cards. But I think it's a little better than I expected it to be overall. Yeah, I think I would cut the Hidetsugu Consumes All from the main deck. I'd probably put him in the sideboard. We decided not to cut it because it was in the original build. The Chancellors, maybe they're not worth it. Oh boy. Well, I like this hand-ish. I like this hand, although I don't know if I like it against Hammer Time on the draw. Like, we could just be facing down death before we even get to start trying to draw cards here. That is the Hammer Time way. Mamnite, Springleaf Drum, Urza's Saga, well, Blackcleave Cliffs, and Gonti's Mechanicians. Go. I mean, Ragavan or any Modern Horizons 2 cards would make the deck better. Our goal, though, was to avoid those cards. So I think if you're just going all out, Ragavan in the 1-drop slot is... I mean, why wouldn't you play it? We're a red deck. It wins games by itself. It is incredibly busted. Like, there's not really any reason not to play it. Even though we're trying to avoid creatures, like Ragavan, if you get in 1 or 2 hits, it's worth it. So I think, and it's a 1-drop. So stuff like that, Fury would probably be pretty good in the deck. So there's definitely stuff that you could add. We were trying mostly to avoid playing the staple-y cards that we see all the time. When we updated the deck, we wanted to try to stay true to the original spirit of the deck, and also, oh, these constructs are going to be big. We want to try to stay true to the original spirit of the deck, and also to avoid playing the staple cards were kind of the goal, essentially. Oh, Solitude with Vito. Yeah, Solitude with Vito could be interesting, couldn't it? And Solitude would be another way. Another thing to keep in mind is we only have 1 card that makes our opponent gain life with the Needlebite Trap. Solitude, to make the opponent gain life, could actually be pretty... Oh, no, they got Pure Steel. Pure Steel to equip here is not good for us. Yeah. This only hit... Yeah, we won't scoop early, but we are super dead here. Opponent hits us for 15. We really need Vito Needlebite, I think. So I guess we gotta draw a Hidetsugu Consumes All. If we draw exactly Hidetsugu Consumes All, we kind of get out of this. But it's got to be exactly that, exactly this turn. Oh, come on, deck. Come on, reward us. Oh, Mana Confluence. All right. So now we are just literally dead on board. We can gain 5, but that does not undo this mountain of attackers. We've had some hilarious combo kills. Overall, we'll do one more. Last match of the stream. See if we can get one more sweet combo kill. There's been a lot of hilarity. Yeah, even gaining 7 though, our opponent had 15 power. 15 power. There was just no gaining our way out of a colossal that board state that our opponent had, unfortunately. Hey, what's up, Zuzu? Good to have you. Yeah, Season Pyromancer, Fable the Mirror Breaker for filtering. I think stuff that ups the consistency could definitely be very good in this deck. Because the biggest challenge of the deck is consistency. Yeah, we haven't really ran into anyone gaining life for themselves. That's not something we've run into. Jingatha. Okay. Well, Chancellor Double Bolt. What do you do with a hand like this? Yeah, I think it's a deck that could certainly use a lot of tuning. But the good games are good enough that I think it's worth exploring. Knight's Whisper could be good. One thing to keep in mind if you do decide to mess around with it, black cards are essential. Like, even the risk factor even the risk factor is kind of questionable. Just because we want as many black cards as possible to pitch to our various pitch cards. Oh. Opponent said they're on Tron. They said, we hope we are on the lutri deck, and they're on Tron. Littenex, how are you? Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you for the subscription. 1 year he's up, and thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Big scoop cheer for you. Do we even keep this? Yeah, I mean, we probably do. I mean, Tron might be fine. What do we care about Tron? Yeah, what are you going to Karn? Oh, we don't have any Tron hate, though, do we? Although they're going to 3. Can we see a 2? Can we see a 2? London Mulligans. London Mulligans. They're going to go to 3 and have a turn 3 Karn. That's how it works these days. Boom. Chancellor you. How do you like us now, Tron? I heard Seth's experience with Attraction. Did anyone else build a commander deck with them? Was it too tedious or just fine? Yeah, I am really curious in other people's... I'm really curious in other people's experience with that as well. Okay, back to the tradition of drawing the Chancellor on turn 1. Well, tap, let go. Yeah, I'm super curious if other people had that experience. And now I'm trying to figure out what to do with my... Do you have any other ideas for Yarok? So I have just like generic Yarok. But I feel like generic Yarok is probably... It can sometimes be too strong. London. I feel like generic Yarok can just be too strong. So this is happening, right? This was the Molda 3. We know they have Tron. Urza's Tower. Worm Coil Engine. Oh, that's game. See, for me, I don't know. Boy. I built Mira. It does spin a lot of attractions, but I'm terrible at rolling dice, so the triggers rarely matter. I mean, this one I don't even know. I don't know what we possibly do about where we're at here. Yeah, turn 3 on the Molda 3. Opponent started the game with 3 Magic the Gathering cards in hand. And on turn 3, they have 3 lands, a Worm Coil Engine, and a Chromatic Star. And that's not even as good as it could be. So I guess we have to double bolt the Worm Coil? I mean, it doesn't feel good, but I guess that's the only real shot, is just start slogging through Worm Coils. About it. Goes to combat. Getting in. Yeah, I think that Tron might be the deck that benefited the most from the current rule set. All right, well, there goes our hand. Opponent gets 2 tokens. Hemslama, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, we can't let our opponent gain 12. If they gain 12, I don't think we can burn them out. So we can't really wait until we can invoke and then bolt the tokens. I think it's just too much life would be gained in the meantime. Well, sort of. Like, them gaining life with the worm does turn on our Needlebite trap, but we have to be able to burn them out of the game. We don't really have a plan for killing them other than burning them out of the game. So if every time they gain 6, they essentially undo a Needlebite trap. If they're like gaining a life or something, that we can deal with. But 6 a turn, there's not enough burn spells in the world, I don't think. Oh, no. Yeah, now this is Karn to eat our lands. Yeah, now. Sure, Sundering Titan. All right, well. Yes, that was a Molda 3. But that is I mean, that is what Tron is incentivized to do. So, yeah, boy, this does not feel good. Um, I mean, I guess we're just open to combo kill. We don't really have a way to interact. I think, so if we go back to actually, if we want to make the deck more competitive, another good option is it would be pretty easy to, to make the mana blood moonable. Like, I think this deck could be straight Rakdos. The green cards in the sideboard I don't think are very essential. So I think we can make it straight Rakdos, and then we could probably play Blood Moons, and that would be very good against Ron. Had a Patreon request for a high power deck. I built it for him. He built on Moto, won 2 games back to back. Ooh, nice. What did he end up building, Doug? What was the high powered commander? All right, Chancellor, you. Oh, Bloodstained Mire, crack it. Blood Crypt, untap. Thoughtseize. I mean, maybe there's some way we keep him off Tron. Oh, well. I guess we take the Ancient Stirrings. Go. Ooh, yeah, Sasuke can be very good. What if you make your Yarok deck Horror Tribal? Ooh, I kind of like that idea. Horror Tribal could be neat. Got a lot of Sword Point diplomacies. We'll see if we can actually draw some good cards off of them. What I like about Mirror is easily being able to make 3 versions of the deck. Modules to swap 1 strong with extra turn spells, 1 more casual, 1 funny with uncards and unattractions. Oh boy. So opponent spins into Tron again. Sure. We'll get a Blood Crypt. Well, Tron assembled. They didn't have a finisher in hand. We'll see if they spin into one. There's the Vito. That could be good eventually. Well, Sword Point Diplomacy, you. Land bump in the night. Ugh. Well, we don't mind a land. I guess this isn't the worst. Think the Griffin Airy, like, one way to... Think the Griffin Airy is like a one-weighted crit. Man, if you gain 3 life during your turn, you make it 2 Griffin. I'm so confused. Ooh, I do love Wild Pair. Yeah, I'll have to mess around. I mean, I think I'll keep the attractions around in case I feel like dealing with it, but it's not a deck I can imagine playing over and over again over the course of like an event or something. Like going to MagicCon Philly and just playing it all weekend. It's just, I feel bad. Do you ever feel bad if you're playing Commander, if you're the one like, I found myself feeling bad during my turn because I'm sitting there and just like resolving all these triggers for like 10 minutes. And I ended up just feeling like I was the one that was slowing down the game and making it less fun for everyone. So that was a big reason I wanted to kind of dump the attraction plan. Oh, Miram might be a little too strong. Am I going to MagicCon Philly? I'm trying to finalize my plans. I am leaning towards it, but I really need to... I still haven't, like, booked travel or anything like that, so I need to get it fully locked down because that's like a month away now. So I will let you know for sure once I actually... I don't want to say yes and then have it not happen. So once I actually have stuff booked and I'm 100%, I will, I'll definitely let everyone know. Lightning Bolt, double Black Cleave Cliffs. Well, bump in the night, you. Opponent goes to 11. Pass the turn. I mean, so this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think if nothing goes wrong, we can win next turn. Opponent. Oh no, are we getting Thrag to... Oh, Chingatha. Okay, that's not something going wrong. Okay, I think we're good. We can set up the Fateful Showdown in Game 5. So, Bloodstained Mire. Crack it to trigger Gonti's Mechanicians. I mean, our opponent could have removal, I guess. Play the swamp. Play the veto. Bump in the night, yeah. Lightning bolt, yeah. Gontes, yeah. Veto, yeah. All right, comboed out the Tron. Come on, let's go out on a winning note. Let's go out on a high note. Run it back. Ooh, going out beating Tron would be so sweet. I mean, that was a pretty good combo. Did you get the email I got denied? Yeah, I finally did here. So I did get the email. So I did get the ticket or whatever, which was the thing I was waiting, mostly waiting on. It took so long. But yeah, I did get lucky enough to get that. Gotta finish the league now. It probably depends on if we win or lose this match. If we lose this, I think it'll probably be the end of the stream. If we win, then I guess there's theoretically a chance we could get a treasure chest, and yes, it's fine. I kind of like the thought seize. Yeah, we'll keep it. If we win and there's a chance that we get a treasure chest, then we'll probably play out the last one. I feel like this is a deck that you play it to do the cool thing, and the cool thing is something super unique and super cool. It's an against the odds deck. It's that ethos, at least. Like that's why you play it. You play it so you can do this really cool, really spectacular thing. And then, you know, there's going to be games along the way where you get awkward draws or whatever. Maybe it could be something. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That's not at all what we wanted to see. I don't know if either of these cards are beatable. The mana update has definitely helped us cast our spells for sure. And we really kept most of the deck the same. So we didn't really mess with the cool part of the deck. It was mostly just the initial build. It was even more inconsistent because on top of the being an inconsistent, like weird combo deck, we also just sometimes we'd have the combo kill, but wouldn't be able to cast it because the mana was also inconsistent. So I think fixing the mana did help for sure. So this 6, 7, 8, 9. The thing is, Karn eats away our lands too. We definitely can't. Well, we can't really, and we know they can cast card. I really don't know what to. I really don't know what to take here. It's one of those. So like, Ulamog is 100% unbeatable. If it resolves. Karn is only like 90% unbeatable, but technically we don't know that they can resolve Ulamog. Why we know they can resolve Karn? I think it's got to be Ulamog. I think we got to try to just play through the Karn, I guess. Yeah, I mean, they had 9 mana with the help of Expedition Map for sure. So the ability to cast the Ulamog is pretty likely. We'd have to get super lucky for them never to get another source of mana. At least Karn, like, if they take down Karn to kill a land, then we get to bolt it. If they take it up, then I guess whatever, we deal with it. I mean, it's not good. It's not obviously getting turn 3. Turn 3 Karn is not good for us, but turn 4 Ulamog is just literally we don't have an answer for it. So we know we can't deal with that. What are we doing, Karn? They know we have the Chancellor in hand, so maybe they think about taking down because they know, okay, well, yeah, this kind of works. Get the Blood Crypt, bolt the Karn. We have passed test number 1. We did lose a land in the process, but we did get rid of the Karn. Bloodstained Mire, go. Should have saved bump to Soul Spike Iron. Yeah, I guess maybe that'd be worth it. Trying to kill it even if they ticked it up. 7 mana Stone Rain and gain a bit of life. Yeah, I think I would definitely add Blood Moon to the sideboard. Would also probably help against like the Primeval Titan decks. We'd have to rebuild the mana, but I think we can handle that. Oh, yeah, that does it. Well, we survived the Ulamog. We survived card number 1. Karn the Great Creator, though. Card number 2. That one, there's not really a way to get around that one. Yeah, what did they snag? Sundering Titan. There's a Haywire Mite. G. Huh. So, I mean, I'd play a 5-color Blood Moon deck. Can make it work. You just gotta try hard enough. You gotta want it. You gotta really want it. So what do we learn about this deck? So, the deck, I will say, it's this hilarious... let's play this without less Scheme of the Stream. Oh, well, I mean, the Sundering Titan is pretty played out. Oh, so I gotta say, the deck's really fun. It's not super expensive by modern standards. If you do budget mana, you make it really cheap, and it's really hilarious. I think we won, 2 matches out of, 7? Which is not a bad against the odds win percentage. And when we did win, it was absolutely ridiculously awesome. So, I mean, I think the deck is interesting enough to be like a fun, semi-competitive deck. Can probably still be improved. The big takeaways, Needlebite Trap is kind of the truth. If you can actually support it, I'd be interested in getting more life gain in the deck to try to make that part of the deck even more consistent. Because Vito Needlebite Trap, we had multiple times where our opponent was close to 20 life, and we just killed him out of nowhere with Vito Needlebite Trap, with Soul Spike helping. Cards I was not as impressed with. Chancellor of the Dross, a little bit hit or miss. Hitasugu Consumes All, probably more of a sideboard card. Gonti's Mechanicians I actually think is pretty good because of the synergy with Vito. I think it's worth it. So I think there's still some more tuning to do around the edge, but overall, it performed better than I thought it would, so I'm pretty happy with it overall. So reminders on the way out the door. Replay YouTube this week, find all the old streams. Normal YouTube, tons of spoilers, tons of content. Keep an eye on that. One more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom, and if you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com/mtggoldfish, even get a free goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes, and they'll hook you up. Most importantly, Spark Trooper. I might have to try that, Rooker, just for you. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Thanks for hanging out, janking around, trying this ridiculous modern deck. Have an amazing night. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Tuesday to have some more fun. We played against a lot of Teferis, so lutri was okay, but we didn't see it often, and when we did see it, it was against Teferis where you couldn't really use it. So I think it's funny and fine enough that I don't want to cut it yet, but pretty hit or miss. So have a lovely day, everyone. Thanks for hanging out and being awesome. Have a great night. I love you all, and I will see you on Tuesday.